curlers from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club. Bringing you the broadcast today is Connor Negavan and myself, Scott Peterson. We started off the week with 16 junior men's and women's teams and are now down to just 3. Shannon Burchard from the St. Vital Curling Club and Matt Dunstone from the Granite Curling Club have already qualified for the provincial final at 4, and that leaves us with 2 teams playing each semifinal. Braden Calvert and Cole Peters for the men, and our featured game of Beth Peterson from the Fort Rouge Curling Club and Lisa Reed from the St. Vital Curling Club. Now let's introduce our squads.
Throwing Yellow Rocks, lead Rhea Teranishi, second Brittany Hancocks, third Blair Hyde, skipped Lisa Reed and their coach Dale McEwen. Throwing the Red Rocks, lead Brianne Yozenko, second Melissa Gordon, third Robin Negavan, skipped Beth Peterson and their coach Jack Gordon. So looks like we started off, Lisa Reed tried to go top 4 and looks like their lead Rhea slipped through the rings. So first end looks like it's going to be played pretty open. Brianne's going to the corner of the 12 foot. And it looks like we're going to try to keep it simple for the first few ends.
That's a fairly regular occurrence in this game, right?
Yeah, it seems like this week, especially the first couple ends with the 10 end games, they're not necessarily used to playing 10 end games all the time. So the first 2 ends have been blanked for the most part. Rhea Teranishi throwing the outturn hit. You'll notice on this sheet that the outturn doesn't have a lot of curl to it going away, and the in-turn really hooks. So I guess Rhea just got caught on the straight spot there and flashed her first hit. So Brianne Yuzenko looking to split the rings here so they can lie 2.
Yeah, it's giving them a bit of an opening to get out of that blank, right?
Absolutely. I think this is exactly what Beth wanted to start, something simple where if they get an easy deuce, they'll be happy. If they hit and roll out, their worst case scenario, they're looking at a blank.
Yeah, and you can see there, even with the draw weight, it's not really curling very much, is it?
No, it's a little bit slanted towards the wall. But it looks like Brianne's got a good one, and Red's lane 2. In the hack now is Brittany Hancocks. Brittany, you'll notice, will be throwing second rocks, but holding the broom for Lisa when she's throwing.
And why do you think a team would do that?
I think it depends on different reasons. I think might just be Brittany's comfortable in the house with Lisa. Lisa and Brittany know each other well, and maybe it's Blair and Rhea like to sweep together. So again, caught on that straight spot, and Beth looks like she's got a chance to split the rings again in lane 3.
Almost like this way.
Right, and now it's almost a point of where do you put the rock, right? Trying to find a place that's a little bit more out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, so I think the biggest goal here is to try to not set up the easiest double for Lisa to get out of this end. So looks like they're gonna try to go T-line behind the red at the top of the 12 foot, and you'll notice this one is gonna be warping pretty hard to the side.
Right, yeah, there it goes.
I'm trying. Curl.
Looks like it needs to slow down. Line's good.
And it might be just a little hot.
And a little heavy, so Red's still lying 2. So Brittany gets to throw the same throw twice in a row, which is always good. And they're actually going to be taking negative ice for this throw, which is sometimes as a player is hard on the eyes to throw.
Just got to trust it's going to do that, right?
Yeah, so they've seen it once before. Now they know that it's going to fall back. So it looks like a better throw from Brittany. So we'll see if Beth caught on to how Brittany threw her rocks. She's going to go with the curly turn. So we'll see how much more this one moves in the out turn.
Right, and actually, Beth pulled on this sheet just 30 this
to what we talked about at the start, where Beth has an open end and she's going to be able to blank worst case scenario. So in the hack now is Blair Hyde. Like we said before, Blair throws third but sweeps. Throwing her intern, the intern hit. And it looks like she got it moving pretty early. Sweepers are trying to hold it. And they got a piece of it, but just not enough. So it looks like Beth's got another chance to split the rings here. And the deuce is back on.
Yeah, and those can end up being fairly costly misses, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the last thing you want to do in the first end is give up a deuce, but in a 10-end game, there's lots of time to come back.
Always lots of time.
So Robin Negavan with the out-turn draw.
Yeah, and with that straight turn, it's not losing a lot of its weight, is it?
No, and you'll find the out-turn, because it is so straight, the weight carries a little bit farther. And it's trying to hold on.
Big sweep to get it out.
And good judging by the sweepers there not to sweep it the whole way. If they would have swept that at all, it would have been pretty close to going through. So good judging by Melissa and Brianne.
Now for Lisa, is she trying to, what's her goal with these two rocks in now?
I think now Lisa's trying to just try to group them together so that if they happen to get a chance to make a double, they can get out of the end. But again, with the straight turn, looked like Blair was a little bit wide. So we'll see if this curls back.
Yeah, it might not be very forgiving out there.
She's got nice control weight, so she's able to stick around. And you'll see Beth play the out turn here, again with negative ice. So these ones are very tricky to call line-wise for Beth. She's got to be really patient on the sweep.
Yeah, if you jump it too early, it'll fall all the way out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's thrown a little bit too hard or early, it's just going to fall the whole way. And it looks like this one was just a little bit back and maybe a little bit hard, and she rolls out. So again, turns back over to Lisa Reed so she can get the blank. And this is Lisa's 11th game this week. So she said she had a good feeling of the ice, so she should be close on this one.
I would imagine after 11 games you would get a fairly good feel of what it feels like, right?
Yeah, we actually had a four-way tie yesterday at 4 teams at 4 and 3, which doesn't happen a whole lot in our pools. But yeah, she had 4-way tie at 4 and 3, and Lisa had to win 2 tiebreaker games yesterday, and was able to get through both those games, and then defeated Rachel Burtnick in the 2-2 game today. So she's on her, like we said, 11th game of the event. So yeah, should have a good handle on the ice.
Now, how exhausting would that be?
It's hard to say. Like, being the provincials, adrenaline's not a hard thing to find. I think the fact that they're in the semifinal of the provincials helps them out a lot. Gets the adrenaline going. 11 games is a lot of games, so I think they're probably feeling a little bit fatigued. But I think right now adrenaline's keeping them going. Depending on when they're done today, I think they'll be able to have a good night's sleep. That's for sure.
And how do you keep your energy up in that case?
I think just preparing throughout the year. I think Dale does a good job with these girls, getting them ready for this event. This is everybody's goal coming into the year, is to be ready for the provincials, and Dale would have them hydrating and making sure they're ready for as many games as they need to play in order to get a chance at winning a Buffalo.
Right. Yeah, if it takes 13 games, it'll be worth it, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. So you saw Lisa Reed hit and roll out. So Beth gets a chance at a free draw, which is always nice for a skip. So she puts it in actually a pretty tricky spot for Lisa to hit. So she's going to, I believe, be throwing the out turn with about 2 inches of negative ice. So this is, again, not an easy one to throw.
And is that why Beth put it out there, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think gives Beth a chance to find her draw weight, and might as well make it hard on the skip. The other skip maybe get a hit and roll out and a free throw through, or maybe if this falls out, it'll get a easy deuce out of nowhere. So this one's tracking. Still falling back. And it looks like she just got a piece of it, but not enough to move it out. So Beth is going to have a draw for two. She's going to take that same path that Robin threw. Oh, no, she's changing it up. She's going to go the curly turn. So same throw for Beth. Sweeper's got to watch it a little bit different path, but they threw this in practice, so they should have a good idea.
Yeah, they should have a fairly good idea what it's going to be doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's each team gets a 7-minute practice before the start of the game, so that kind of gives you a good idea of when you get these free draws, what the speed's going to be like. So first end intern draw for Beth for 2 points. Needs to bite the rings.
Yeah, this is mission accomplished for the Beth Peterson squad.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice easy deuce in the first end. Got a few uncharacteristic misses from the Lisa Reed team, and we're able to capitalize. And sweepers look like they like it. And first end, deuce for Beth Peterson.
Very well done.
So you will notice if you're watching the live stream that there is a 30-second commercial that will pop up on the Ustream about every 25 to 30 minutes. We do recommend that if you want to watch it in between ends, then it will pop up less often. That way it doesn't come in the middle of an end when you guys are trying to watch. So if you get a chance in between ends, just click on the screen and watch that 30-second commercial. So with that deuce in the first end, looks like Beth's going to come in top four. Again, they're going to go with that the swingy turn out here. And Brianne Yozenko's in the hack. Trying to put this one top four. Definitely don't want to be a guard after getting that first end deuce.
Right, try and keep things simple still.
Yeah, I think with the first end being mission accomplished for Beth, I think right now she's just trying to keep it as simple as possible. I mean, right now she can blank all the way to the 10th end, and she's got a win on her hands. So
wouldn't that be an exciting game?
yeah, it would be just fantastic. But sweepers are sweeping it, and looks like she's got full 12-foot. So we'll see if Lisa Reed throws a corner guard here. Nope, looks like she's gonna hit it.
Yeah, both content to keep it a little bit open and clean for the first little while.
Yeah, and I think Lisa's Reeds, this is their first time in Canola Growers Junior Provincials, or Junior Provincial playoffs, so maybe she just wants her team to kind of settle in a little bit, and there's lots of time out here, lots of time for them to come back, so settle in, maybe get the nerves out of the way, and then maybe towards the second half of the game try to claw back.
Right. And there's all sorts of new things going into these playoffs for them, right? It's things like that you wouldn't think of, maybe wearing a microphone for the first time, stuff like that. That just makes it just that much different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the cameras, the mics, everybody's out here to watch you in the other semifinals. So there's definitely new distractions that you don't think of during the round robin when everybody else is playing beside you. Lisa Reed will have kind of gotten a little bit of that yesterday when she was the only sheet on the ice. But again, caught on that straight spot and just another tick. They seem to be hitting. It's hard to hit the rock and not get it out, but they've done it 3 times so far this game. So Lisa Reed, same as Beth Peterson in the first end, looking like she's got an opportunity to add a easy deuce. Ria Teranishi throwing the out turn draw to the wing.
Gotta go line. Where? Take a look. Running out of house. Yeah,
And it's really hooking over there. They're running out of rings.
It's going to be right on the edge there, eh?
And looks pretty perfect.
It's about as far out as you can get.
Yeah, that is splitting the rings to a whole new level right there. So again, Beth, just like Lisa in the first end, is going to try to group those stones and maybe get a hit and roll out or a double. So Melissa Gordon with an out-turn hit.
Waiting for a little bit more curl out here, I think.
Needs a little bit of curl. She threw that a little bit harder than her first one.
So this is shaping up much like the first end did for Team Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that you'll notice watching these games today is with the difference in the two turns, the out turn being, or the right side of the sheet being so straight as opposed to the left side is it's very difficult to find how much weight to throw on those hits. Yeah, I think Melissa just overcompensated, knowing that it was going to curl, just threw it a little bit harder than Beth thought she was going to. And unfortunately, Beth had a little bit too much ice for the weight that was thrown. So Brittany Hancock's, with her in-turn, she is a lefty, her in-turn draw.
That's okay, just a little heavy.
And looks like it just slips through the rings, so opportunity missed for the Lisa Reed team, and Melissa gets a redemption shot at a hit and roll here.
Just a little bit heavy, and I think, again, with that different curl and the different turns, even the weight is a little bit harder to gauge.
Yeah, absolutely. In the straight spots, the rocks seem to just slide a little bit further. So Beth Peterson cut down the ice significantly, and looks like Melissa's throwing the same weight. And she looks at, just a little bit too thin. Looks like it's going to roll out.
It was close, but just maybe off the broom a little bit too early.
Yeah, I think just got caught where I was trying to anticipate the curl and just missed it just a little bit. Like we said before, we have Cole Peters and Braden Calvert, our reigning junior champion on sheet F. We will be filling you in with updates as we go along.
Line's good.
So Brittany Hancock's with her
How are
out
you?
turn, trying to split the rings.
Top 8.
And just further to
Even if
that,
you're T-line, that's
Team
fine.
Calvert has scored 1 in
Hard.
the first end, so it's 1-0 for yellow on that sheet.
And I believe Peters had the hammer, so that would have been a steal of one in the first end.
Yep. Go. Nice sweep.
And good sweeping by the front end there to try to get it as even as possible so that Robin doesn't have an opportunity at a half rock double. So going back to the curly turn, Robin's out turn.
And they're on this pretty early. It seems to be on the outside of it right now.
Just waiting for the curl, and good shot. So the key with that shot is just making sure that you stick around so that the rock's a little bit higher in the house, so that next throw, if Lisa Reed doesn't roll anywhere, Robin will have a good chance at maybe a double to get her team out of this end.
Right, so the Beth Peterson squad is sort of waiting for their moment, right? Waiting for a little bit of a mistake or a little half shot to maybe make that double and get out of this end.
Yeah, absolutely. They're waiting for a nose hit or maybe an over curl.
Hard.
We're on this one pretty early. It's looking good.
Yep. Hard.
Really going over there.
Yeah.
And just, I think that's just the difference in weight between the two teams is Robin had thrown hers a little bit harder, whereas Lisa Reed kind of dialed the weight back and took a little bit more ice. And it'll just probably take a couple ends for them to figure out where they need to put the broom for those nose hits. So Beth Peterson lining up the double. And this would be probably the opportunity they're looking for to get out of this end.
Right. And maybe is it an advantage to Beth that she's been playing on this sheet already today, or is that maybe not as big a deal as it may seem?
I think it's absolutely an advantage for sure to be able to get one more game on this sheet. Lisa has played on this sheet throughout the round robin, but not today. So maybe a little bit tighter than she wanted to throw it and a nose hit, but again, the rocks are still grouped.
Just control.
So here we go with a control weight hit on the straight spot.
Right, and we'll see a little bit less weight than that last shot. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it seems throughout the first two ends, if I notice one thing, it's definitely that Lisa Reed's team is a little bit more softer hit weight compared to the Peterson team. And this one's hanging out there pretty straight.
Yeah,
guess unfortunately those just do not come back if you.
And rolled to a pretty nice spot. That's pretty tricky. It's going to be hard for Beth to get both those out. And so again, a little bit less weight kind of saved her there. And turned out to roll to a pretty great spot.
Now, Beth seems to be thinking about drawing at this point. Is the hit? Oh no, this may be a hit.
Yeah, so I think she's throwing the out-turn hit. I'm just
Okay.
not sure if she's throwing a bullet down there and trying to kill them both, or if she's trying to hit about 3/4 of the rock. But we'll see when she slides out of the hack how hard it's coming.
Now I saw her call, or at least tap for the draw. Is that an option there, or maybe not at this point?
I think with the ice curling so much, it's pretty tough to put the perfect draw. I think right now with a 2-point lead, eliminating one of the two stones is a good option. So here she comes with an out-turn hit, and this should be curling the whole way.
Yeah, they're on it pretty early.
And it looks like it hit the boards before it hit the rocks, so those two rocks will have to go back. And it looked like a good throw with just not quite enough ice, and again, it's hard to believe sometimes that it's going to curl 1.5 feet with that kind of weight, but it's just been like that all week. So they're just putting the rocks back.
It's always a negotiation between two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. At events like this, we do have umpires, but unlike the Briar or the Scotties, we do not have anybody tracking where the rocks were. So it's up to the two teams to kind of decide where they think the rocks were before. And looks like they got it figured out. So for Lisa Reed, she's throwing the out-turn draw. I thought she would have been taking a little bit more ice than this, considering how much it curls. But again, anywhere in the ring, she's looking at probably a guaranteed deuce for sure.
Heads.
There we go, and now she's changed the broom. She's giving herself a little bit more room to work with here.
Yeah, maybe realizing that is the turn that curls a lot more.
It's gonna hit the flat patch though. It's all you.
So you hear the sweeper saying it was a little bit heavy, and Lisa referring to hitting the slide path. The slide path is usually where the players slide to hit the broom, and it usually flattens out the pebble a little bit. So that'll make the rock slow down. So just hung on, good judging by the sweepers again, not to touch that rock. And now Beth Peterson has a decision to make.
And what's her decision between here?
I think she has to decide if she wants to hit and give them 3, because that spot, that double is so tricky she has to hit those rocks, or if she's going to take a rip at the double and just try to give up a deuce. And it looks like she's just taking 6 inches more ice and going to have a run at that double again.
I guess a positive thing for Beth on this shot is that they are so close to the boards there that even if you get them 8 moving, let's say 1/2 foot, it's going to hit the boards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If she connects with hit weight, more than likely both those stones will go. So out-turn hit here for Beth.
Probably can't hurt it.
Yep. They have to sweep it a little bit. And looks like the yellow's still stuck around.
They seem to have some confusion over this.
They're not sure if it hit or not.
Doesn't look like it even hasn't moved.
It doesn't look like it did. So again, a little bit of controversy because of the one hitting the boards on Beth's first one. They didn't know exactly where to place those 2 rocks back again. If they didn't put them back in the right spot, that might have been why that caused the jam. But regardless, both teams agreed on it, and Lisa Reed's got a hit for 3.
Control.
And that, I'm afraid, is just curling.
Little more. Little more.
So second and last rock, intern hit. Looks like she floated it just a little bit out of her hand. And it's really tracking out.
Can be
Pick it.
dangerous with these throws. Go watch that back yellow.
And she
Should be
avoids
okay.
the jam and a deuce for Lisa Reed. So slight opportunity missed there, but she'll be happy. She tie game after two.
Absolutely awful. Top four.
High fives all around for the Reed team.
And again, not the end of the world for the Peterson team, realizing that they still have the hammer. And they'll be looking to get the lead again in this end.
And in fact, dodging maybe a little bit of a bullet at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime a skip misses a shot for an extra point, you breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief.
What turn do you like, Rhea?
And they're looking to go top four with Rhea's first shot. So it'll be interesting to see what Beth decides to do, if she throws a corner guard or if they decide to hit it. And oddly enough, both ends so far, they've thrown it in and tried to hit it, and we got two deuces on the board. So that just shows you that
Full four.
they're having a little bit of trouble figuring out the ice for those hit and sticks.
It's just cutting.
Yeah, and at that point, do you think maybe a change of game plan would help that out, or
Still like T-line.
what's the idea there?
Yep.
I think right now, both teams are kind of content with still feeling out the ice. I don't know if Beth is ready to throw a corner guard yet. It's hard to throw a corner guard on the left-hand side of the sheet because it'd be hard to get around it. The intern would curl too much, and the outturn probably wouldn't finish enough. So where Rhea put her first rock is actually kind of in a tricky spot because it's where you would normally throw the red corner guard. Since her shot over curled, there's not much Beth can do but play a hit on this. So Brianne Yozenko, outturn hit. So like we said in our intro, Beth Peterson has played on this sheet before earlier this morning, losing to Shannon Burchard of St. Vital in the 1-1 game.
And I believe the final there was about 9-3. So the Beth Peterson squad was not very pleased with their game, but I think they've come back and they seem to be in a bit better of a headspace.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to rebound. There's a few shots earlier this morning that they wish they could have back, and they know that they need to be better if they want to get back to that final game. So outturn hit by Rhea Ternishi, and looks like just a little bit wide maybe, and it's going to roll out. So we'll see what Beth decides to do here. She's going to go wide side into that spot where we've seen a couple flashes, so definitely a good decision by her to kind of put it in a tricky spot. And it'll be up to Brianne to get it there.
Just as an update for the men's juniors semifinal, Peters has taken one with their last rock, so it's 1-1.
So Peters ties the game with one in the second end, so Braden Calvert will now have the hammer playing the third end. Winner of that game will of course play Matt Dunstone at 4 o'clock in the final, and that game will be brought again live streamed by myself and Scott.
Good throw.
So you're with us all day,
Control.
folks.
Want the straight turn? I'll just give you negative ice.
So interesting to listen to Lisa there, choosing the straight turn and giving negative ice. So lefty's in turn.
And as
Please.
somebody who doesn't skip very
Pull
often,
right
is that a big difference between a left-handed and a right-handed curler?
Hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Yes.
since the hacks are in different spots, usually a left-hander's intern will curl a little bit more
Like big
than
ruler,
a right-hander's
nose
outturn.
be in.
So the more you play with Lisa
trying to go for
and
it,
Brittany playing together for a couple years,
don't mind
Lisa's got it
nose.
figured out. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in where the rock's going to break down the ice, where they're going to find that curl.
And that's maybe just sort of a thing you'll learn as you go on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The longer you guys play together, the easier it is to know everybody's throws. So Melissa Gordon with an outturn hit.
Seem to be on this one early. And I think luckily it's pretty straight out there, so with sweeping it seems pretty straight.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit tight out of her hand, but that's definitely the margin of error on that side of the sheet.
Melissa gives a little smile, and then on we go.
So very similar to the first end here. Brittany Hancock's with her intern.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's not moving too much, but should
Nice
make
separate.
contact.
Good shot by Brittany. So we see now, different from the first two ends so far, everybody's been able to get rid of the rock.
I get a bit of a roll here.
So they're figuring out the ice a little bit here.
I don't think it's going to be quite as straight, but I think it'll be still straight.
So Melissa with her out turn again. Same throw as her last one.
And you hear Beth saying that maybe near the center line, this one might not be as straight as it was outside of it.
No, straight up. Nope, 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 nope. Curl. Stick it in? No.
Willing the rock to curl.
And it does the trick there.
At 7.
Now for Lisa, without the last rock, kind of trying to place this rock, why would you choose top 4? What's the idea there?
I think for Lisa, any chance you get at a free draw, it's just about finding a new spot in the ice that you want to learn about. So if you have to throw this again in the 8th or the 9th or the 10th end, that you know that this intern is curling quite a bit, and you know the speed, sweepers know the speed, what to tell you.
It's all you. Wade's all you.
So Blair gets a chance to throw this free draw.
So it's research.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lisa's main objective is to know the ice as best she can, so when they get later on into the game, she knows all the spots.
Just 10.
So it's important for Robin to try to hit and stick here so that Lisa doesn't get those free draws. So out turn hit. So Beth indicating it was maybe a little bit heavy. So another hit and roll out. So let's see if Lisa tries to find a new path in the ice. She's going to go back to the middle and take a little bit more ice. So she's trying to find that spot where she can grab a piece of that center line.
And like you said, that might come in handy later on in the game.
Blair Hyde with her second one in the third end.
Full floor, you got it. All you. It's not cutting.
Here Lisa calling all you, making sure that the sweepers know that the weight is the most important part here.
It's kind of sliding a bit. Nice shot.
And it's important for the sweepers to really pay attention on those free draws and make sure that they know what's going on, so they can relay the information about how the weight is going to be. So Robin Negaman with an intern hit. And the only reason I can say her name right is because I'm her brother.
Yeah, that silent J often gives some people some pause.
Yeah, I've had a lot of interesting last names in the past, that's for sure. So good shot by Robin, and Lisa's gonna have to hit and stick here.
I don't know if I like taking the straight turn. Why we could.
Yes, of course, Robin's Connor's sister, and Beth Peterson would be my sister, so a little bit of a tough assignment here for us.
And remember, if you guys have any questions, feel free to tweet us at Curl Manitoba with any of your questions, and we'll be sure to answer them on the air.
So Lisa just trying to keep up with this and get this red out of there and stick around, make Beth have to throw out something. Nice Manitoba tuck delivery.
Yep. Go.
A little bit of a mix of a Jeff Stoughton with Robbie Longslide in there.
You're good. Nice shot.
And that's going to go out right to the 12 there, which is a nice spot.
Yeah, so good roll by Lisa trying to get it out to the 12 foot there. It makes it a tricky shot for Beth. She is gonna take negative ice and throw the out turn, I believe. So again, biggest thing in a tricky spot like this is make sure you make contact.
And what kind of weight are you thinking you would throw out here? Like, is it to your benefit to throw a little less?
I think in a spot like this, where the main objective is just to get the rock out because it's such a tough spot, is just maybe throw that normal up kind of weight. Make sure that the rock isn't going to find some miraculous curl, and the sweepers can drag it back if they need to.
Right. And that should definitely fall out there.
So great throw by Beth, and good calling by Robin not to sweep that rock. It's difficult watching it down the ice when it's missing it on the left side and it falls back to get to the nose, not to sweep it.
Yeah, that's a very, very scary moment for Skip, I'm sure.
So Lisa Reed, same spot as the first end that she flashed, so she'll be looking for a little bit of a better throw here. Bringing the weight down a little bit.
Yeah, and taking comparatively to Beth's last one, quite a bit of ice.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised about the amount of ice she's taken here, but she again, the Lisa Reed team does throw a little bit less weight than the Peterson team.
Yeah, so that is a considerably lighter shot that Beth threw.
So this one looked a little back out of her hands, so let's see how this runs.
No, it's just falling to the board.
Same as the first end, it's just falling to the boards, and I don't know if this one's going to be able to get a piece of it. Oh, and it curled up.
It found an invisible barrier along that wall and curled up a little bit.
So mission
They're both laughing about it.
So mission accomplished for the Reed team. A little bit of a scary spot out there, but they found some curl, and mission accomplished. So Beth Peterson again finding a new spot in the ice where she hasn't thrown and gonna throw this one through.
Yeah, and you know what? This isn't necessarily a mission lost for Beth either. A blank is not a bad result.
No, I think both teams are happy with the result. And funny, Lisa Reed's team was jokingly just about pulled that rock off because they thought it was going to hit the boards and managed to curl up just in time.
Luckily, they didn't. So now we know there is some curl out there. You just have to throw it at the wall.
And then it started moving toward, like, in there. Trying to try the straight turn? Yeah, same thing.
So again, Lisa Reed going to go top four with Ria's first shot. So taking edge of the button to try to get to the center line.
Make sure. It's going to come down. You got to go.
Beth and Lisa have a little bit of a chuckle about that last shot.
Yeah, you got to go. It's got to be in. Got to be in hard. Hard.
And you hear Lisa yelling that she really wanted that in. I think that's trying to stick to their game plan of maybe playing it a little bit more open and not forcing the issue so much, waiting for Beth to make a move.
Now Beth's going to go in behind that guard.
So Brianne's got a good opportunity here to place a good one. You want to make sure this one doesn't slip behind the T line, but it's top 8 to top 4 range.
Mine's pretty good. Take a look. Yep.
So as my good buddy Kyle During would say, this one will be warping.
Got it, go.
And there she goes. Oh, just by a feather.
And comes out the other side, but still a pretty good shot. That's not an easy one to hit if you're Lisa Reed.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, especially on that side with the weight and the lack of curl there. Just an update for everybody listening on the men's game. The Calvert team has just scored 3 in the last end with the hammer, so that is 4-1 for yellow Calvert.
And that's a big ed for Braden to break that game wide open.
Yeah, I don't suppose we'll see a lot of guards on that sheet for this next end.
So again, in the straight spot here, Ria's hoping that her weight will save her a little bit. And it looked like a pretty good throw. It just tracks the whole way down that spot.
Does not like to curl there, especially with anything but lightweight.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting call for Lisa. That's something that she might want to look at in the second half of this game is maybe trying to avoid that straight spot, avoid that straight turn, because that shot was just frankly probably pretty impossible for Ria to even make.
You'd almost have to aim to hit the guard and just miss it by a hair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe a safer option on this ice is just to play the out-turn curl and just play a freeze.
It's really moving now.
So Brienne's looking to have a little less weight here. Her line's better.
Sweepers don't necessarily want to touch it.
And a pretty good shot from Brienne, maybe a foot deeper than she wanted, but good sweeping by the girls not to touch that one. And
Just like running it.
now the Beth Peterson team has Lisa Reed on the ropes a little bit.
We're going to see Lisa start to maybe bail out of the end a little bit by throwing this guard back.
So the lefty's out turn coming down the straight spot.
Do you like this call? Is it about time to start
No,
getting out of this end?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think Lisa recognizes that she's in a little bit of trouble, and I think it's important for them to
Okay, peel it. Yep.
bail out of this end, because there's still tons of time left. It's only seconds first rock. So good shot by Brittany there. And we'll see what Beth decides to do.
That's what I said. Do you like this?
So our two options are to go out wide or top 12. Now, if you were Beth Peterson right now, what would your call be?
I think seeing that Lisa Reed just played that run back, I think you can tell that Lisa's trying to bail. So I don't necessarily dislike a tight guard call. This is a great call as well. It's just it seems like every time they play in the house, the ends just seem to be disappearing on them with some hit and rolls out. So I would be trying to prolong that as much as possible. But if Melissa puts this in a good spot, Beth's looking like she's in good for a deuce.
Sweeper's indicating that it might be a little heavy. Oh, but they're looking at it.
So,
Coming down.
like we said before, with the curl, the weight comes off of it.
Make sure it's there.
And they want that to be top teeth.
I think we've seen this spot before. Hooking over there pretty good. And great shot by Melissa.
Great throw.
Good brush, girls.
So again, though, by playing into the rings, Lisa does have a chance to come into the rings now, and we'll see if this end pans out like the other two, where we had a couple of unforced errors. So same throw for Brittany.
Yep.
Seems to be a little bit truer to the broom there. Shouldn't move a ton.
Hard. Whoa.
And they actually overswept that a little bit.
What turn do
Red
you like?
stuck around.
Yeah, it just falls back the entire way, and they were sweeping it, and I don't think Lisa realized how far it was falling back.
Just caught a little bit too thin, and that back red stayed in, or the first red, I guess.
Regardless, good shot from Brittany, and not an easy shot from Melissa to get rid of that yellow without getting rid of one of her reds.
Yeah, this is a very tough spot. It's,
Do not touch it.
you have to be very careful not to jam on the back red there.
Whoa. Close yet? Whoa.
So trying to be as patient as possible here.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Beth was sweeping that one to make sure that she could get second shot out of it, but it seems to have hung on for second shot.
Yeah, so a little bit of, again, an unforced error there. Just getting caught on hoping that spot's going to curl, and both teams need to realize that it's just not going to curl. As much as they're hoping it does, it's just not going to. So maybe just a little bit less ice or an audible out of the hand there would have helped.
Yeah, it's time to start trusting that spot there, I think.
So Blair Hyde looking to hit the stick and lay two.
Once again, trying to be careful with this spot here. been giving lots of fits to both teams.
Think you're good. Yeah, you're good. Atta girl, great throw.
Good patient line call there by Lisa.
Okay. There are two.
So Beth just indicating that that yellow is second shot, so looking for a hit and roll, trying to group those yellows together. Robin with her intern.
And Beth is going to try and group those together to try and get unforced error or something?
Don't
Or
touch it. Don't
Yeah,
touch it.
just like we saw how Lisa grouped her yellows with another red there, and got the jam from Melissa. Robin's going to try to do the same.
Anything. That's good.
And a little bit of a roll.
Snows. I like control still.
I thought we just might as well get that yellow into the open. And it wasn't moving. The second one. I know. That's why I kept saying close. Because look at Robin's finished. I know.
so Beth just talking about that spot there, saying maybe there is a little bit of finish, and
Yep.
we for sure are seeing that little bit of apprehension with that spot.
Yep. Hard.
So Blair with another intern hit.
Whoa, whoa, back up. Whoa, whoa.
And just move that yellow rock enough that Beth can hit and stick to late two. So
Like it goes like that.
yeah, and Lisa talking about how it looks like it's gonna curl, but then it falls back if they sweep it. So a little bit of a tough ice for these guys to figure out. But again, they've played lots of games on this sheet, and it hasn't changed all week.
You definitely have to be patient with that sort of line, and just basically believe that it's going to do what you know it will.
And a great throw there by Robin. So Beth and their team are now lying two.
Just knows. Control, maybe a little less of a burn control. I'll be a little firm. So less. No, like this way.
It becomes confusing what less means when your broom is on the rock.
Yeah, when you're taking negative ice, sometimes it's a little bit confusing. So
Just kind of watch your releases on that side.
Getting a bit of movement out of them.
so she's going to hit and roll and try to group the stones.
Well, it's going like that. That's why we need like the best release we can find.
So Lisa just talking about maybe everybody being a little bit too positive on the release with a straight spot like that. It's so sensitive. If you get it out back out of your hand at all, it just seems to track out.
And
So this one's fallen out. I'm wondering if they could sweep it and
No.
maybe get the double.
No.
I think unfortunately we saw the bit of that positive release she was talking about.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what happens when you're trying to talk to a team. You hear a lot of people say, if you don't want the rock to be heavy, don't get in the hack and say, okay, we can't be heavy here, because the last thing that enters your head is heavy. And I think that might have crept into Lisa's head there, where she was saying, well, we don't want to pop it on this spot, and she just had that in her head, and it just seemed to get in her head a little bit, and she popped it back. That spot can make you look very bad. She didn't throw it that bad. It's just very unforgiving.
Yeah, it's almost thinking about too many things as you're getting your shot ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our team always tries to think of as curling as you hit the broom and throw the right weight, and you'll make a lot of your shots. And sometimes you just need to dumb it down to hit the broom, throw the right weight. So Beth Peterson with an intern draw, trying to find a piece of the paint.
Sweepers are on and off it, which is usually a good sign.
So the sweepers need to realize that this is a straighter spot, so it's not going to come down as much as that one that curls.
Really back it out.
So trying to...
Hard as far as it'll go. Or even.
They almost would have been better served maybe making it even there.
Yeah, I mean, they
Or
left Lisa Reed
Set up for double.
a double maybe, but it's not an easy shot.
do you
So she's looking at maybe a hit
Good
and roll.
brush.
It's kind of
He has
could be a
backed it up.
triple.
So we'll listen in and see what Lisa decides.
Do you like
I
that
heard
with
her
the
utter
curly
the
pin?
word triple. Is that there?
No.
Normal up.
All right then.
I know. That's what I said. I was
And
like,
maybe
you
with
guys
the
back it up.
a little bit softer weight that Lisa throws, that's not really a shot they're thinking about.
Yeah, I think right now. Lisa's trying to look to hold them to 2. I think she's playing in a big weight double.
Yeah!
Very tough.
Roll it.
And that's actually, if that hung on for second shot, that's a pretty darn good shot.
Pretty good.
I don't want to
pretty
hit it
good.
though.
And they're still looking at it. I'm assuming if even if it is second shot, do you think they maybe just draw and keep it safe?
Yeah, I think at this point of the game, a deuce here is pretty good. I think you'll see
Yeah,
Beth
we're gonna
Peterson.
draw anyways. I'm just
Beth
looking.
Peterson draw for her deuce and maybe get out the measuring stick for that third point. Tricky little shot there by Lisa Reed. That might have worked out really good for her.
Yeah, and you heard
Yeah.
Beth say, I was
Yeah.
going to draw anyways, but just looking
I
at it.
know.
So I think this was the plan. Either way is to throw this draw that she just threw and hope
Same week? 15?
hope the measure goes her way, I guess.
Yeah, and smart call for everybody watching here. That, just sometimes that gets a little frustrating when you think you got maybe a 3 on your hand and Lisa maybe makes a shot that you didn't think she was calling. Just to kind of regroup and draw for your deuce and hope on the measure you get a 3.
But either way, like we said before, a two is mission accomplished at this point, right?
Alright, guys. Hard!
Cooper's got to work this one.
Hard! Full 12!
I mean, full 12 with this
Go!
one seems to
Just
be
go!
dying pretty
Hard!
quick.
Ah!
That's too bad.
What was that?
Good sweeping by the girls to try to get it as far as possible, but just a little light out of her hand.
Was that maybe she threw a different spot there, or was it just too light generally?
I think just generally too light. Like that was her draw the button path. So the sweepers and Beth should have known the speed there. So
Right.
um,
They should have a fairly good idea what that's looking like.
yeah,
Right?
maybe just a little bit of a rush in the hack, and Beth will be hoping she wins the measure here.
Right. I know for myself on my Wednesday night team, the hardest shot for me to throw is an open draw for an extra point. Just seems to get into your head that it's an easy shot, and then lo and behold, you throw it 3 feet light.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are in the semifinal of Provincial, so there is some pressure out here, and sometimes that makes it harder. So Brittany and Robin watching the measure.
Yellow
Looks like
gets that extra, gets the second shot there, so that's 1 red.
So good roll by Lisa Reed on her last one, and unfortunately an unforced error by Beth, but they got their 1 point, so they're leading 3-2 after 4.
I thought it was yellow when I looked at it. Yeah. Yeah, well, warrants a measure.
Is it okay if I just put it in my pocket? Because it actually fell off when I was throwing.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Let me know if I need to
And those little meetings at the in between each end, what's going on in those meetings there? What do you talk about usually?
I think for both teams it's just a slight recap of how they thought that end went, what they maybe need to work on for the next end, and what their game plan is for this end. So Beth will be looking to throw a guard and get a force, and Lisa will be looking for maybe a blank or a deuce.
So it seems like Beth is maybe ready to play a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks like Beth is going to try to put the heat on Lisa Reed's team a little bit. And we'll see if Lisa can get her rocks in some good spots and generate a 2.
Yeah, we've had a pretty clean game so far. Not a lot of junk out front. So that may be changing if Beth has her way.
Yeah, pretty clean game for a 3-2 score. There's been a lot of probably unforced errors that you wouldn't see normally with the teams trying to figure out the sheet. But I think they both kind of got a good handle on what it's doing now, so we should see some interesting last couple ends here. So Rhea trying to come around top 4.
You're gonna have to go line soon.
There's Lisa Reed anticipating that curl a little bit.
Yep.
Nat Sweeper saying it's a
Hard.
little bit heavy.
I
Hard.
don't know if I can
Whoa,
ask him. He
whoa.
looks pretty concentrated.
Okay.
Good shot there by Rhea.
To give it to you guys, 'cause she's been really heavy on a lot.
Like
of
it's fully
you got
open
this.
on
You got
the
shot.
outturn side, but like we saw last end, it's just almost impossible to hit that rock.
Yeah, you really have to will it into that spot, I think.
Line's nice. Line's good.
So Brienne looking to come on down onto the tee line here.
Alright, guys.
Pro side miss is
Line's
definitely a little bit light. Try to keep control of the
Get in
front of the
here.
house.
Go, 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 go.
Definitely going to need to curl, but I think it will once it starts to go. I think best thing, let me go. Not something you hear from a skip very
I
often.
just meant first, Robin.
Needs to unleash a little bit of the energy there.
Yeah.
No, I meant
Back
first.
line.
Good weight from Brienne. I think maybe
Tap
just
it back.
just a
Yeah.
couple feet
Curl it
light
up.
out of her hand, and the sweepers had to kind of kill the line on her. But good shot there. So Rhea looking for a hack waiter.
Yep. Yep. Hard. 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 Really hard.
We're on this one early.
Stay on it.
So if
Yeah.
Beth gets this one out, she gets to replace the guard.
Oh my god, the most beautiful pick shot I've ever seen.
And Beth indicating that Rhea just completed the perfect Lisa Weagle.
Yeah. She was very impressed with that.
So that's a good shot. Good shot by Rhea. Good pro side miss there.
There?
And Beth's going to replace that guard there and hope to keep that red covered as long as possible.
So interesting call here. Beth could hit and stick and lay too. But again, like we said, in between ends, it looks like they're trying to force Lisa to put some rocks in play.
Whoa, chance to jump it.
Maybe sensing
Mine's
that
really good.
she's got a bit of
No, just the two.
an edge in the shot making and trying to put a little pressure on, maybe?
Yeah, maybe in the fact that she played on the sheet earlier today. Maybe she's feeling that if she gets Lisa into a tough spot, that
Beauty.
maybe she knows the ice better than
Feeling?
Lisa.
And there's a savvy veteran
I was
skip
trying so
move,
hard.
sweeping that one to come off the yellow a little bit because it was, in fact, over curling a touch.
Yeah, good sweeping, good throw by Melissa, and Brittany Hancock's with her
Hard.
in-turn run back.
Hard.
Seems
Hard.
to be sweeping just to peel the
Hard roll, Rhea. Hard, Rhea. Hard, hard, hard. Go,
Yeah.
go, 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 go,
So
go.
good peel there by Brittany.
Yep.
Okay.
That's definitely
Nice
a
roll.
positive where they were, what that throw was. An update on the men's junior game, the semifinal. Cole Peters has scored 2 in the fourth end, so now that score is 4-3. Calvert is winning 4-3 with the last rock this end, N5.
So that's a big deuce by Cole to come back after giving up that
That
three.
looks like a lot.
For sure, that's definitely a tough thing to give up a 3, but if
No,
you
we
get back
don't
on
want
it
it
and
in
get
at
your
all.
2, you're only down 1. Anything can happen.
So Melissa with the same throw, but it's
Yeah,
looking
keep it on that side.
looking a
Robin
little
first.
bit heavy.
Right.
So Beth
Whoa,
calling the
whoa.
audible,
Whoa.
And now calling off the
Yeah,
audible?
and now calling off the audible.
Oh, that was
So-
a mess of a shot.
So good shot by Melissa there. That's a good spot.
Beth says a
Probably
mess of
try
a
and come
shot,
through
and
the
I think
hole,
she
and
means
if you just rack on the guard, that's
she
fine.
wasn't sure what she was going to
On throw
call there
peel?
at the end, and a little bit of a hesitation there.
So great shot from Melissa. 2 good throws, and Brittany's looking to try to sneak through this hole there.
And it's going to definitely bust in there pretty hard, so they'll have to be very careful with this line.
Yep. 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 Hard. Okay, that's fine. That's good too.
And absolutely, Lisa's right. I think that's the way you missed that shot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We always talk about pro side miss. And pro side miss is if you're going to miss the shot, what's the best
It's a 2.
way to miss it that leaves your team in a good spot, and that was definitely the pro side miss for that shot.
And Beth's going to try and replace that guard. Robin got a nice chance here to throw this one.
Little tight, actually. Line's a little tight. Line's fine. Just the two.
A little
Where
tight
are
with
we?
this turn, I don't think
Okay,
is
line's
the end of the
10 good
world.
now. Sit. Sit.
They are getting a little bit of finish there at the end, though.
That's good.
So again, good shot by Robin there. I think the most important thing for the Peterson team is to remember that probably an over curl in that spot is better than an under curl with how straight that out turn is. So good spot, and you'll see Lisa's third Blair throw the peel.
Yeah, just looking to hopefully get a missed shot out of that one.
Whoa.
Out of Beth's guards there,
backing up.
hoping that's going to miss.
This one's falling back. She might be able to come right by it and get the back red if they sweep
Yeah,
it.
they're going to get that back red
Okay.
there.
And good shot. Good shot by Blair there.
Yep, for sure. That's another pro side miss, right? If you're a little bit outside, you knew that there is that
Like that
yellow-red
ice?
crotch there. That if you get to it, it's the red's probably going. And Beth's got a little bit of a tricky shot here with this straight turn, trying to roll behind her red guard.
Yeah, so important to be patient on the line call on this shot.
Whoa, whoa.
You hear her getting off of it.
Where's weight? Oh, curl. Curl. Here goes
Unfortunately,
curl.
rocks don't always listen when we ask them to curl, but
Go, go, go,
maybe a
go,
little
go,
bit.
go, 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 go. That's good.
Great shot there by
Not
Robin.
gonna get much more of
Nice
it.
controlled weight.
So
Yeah. And Beth rightly says
just
tough
throw
to get
bump.
much more curl
Bump
than
up.
that. So that's a pretty good throw, and that's not an easy shot to hit.
So Blair looking for a board weight hit here.
It's starting to move it towards the center, right?
Yeah, she hit a red about this far away from the guard just before this. So another shot back.
Oh.
I think she was a little bit wide. Just seems to be tracking back on her.
Right. In this spot, a little bit wide is sometimes spell disaster.
I think just a guard. I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
any
and like we
carries.
talked about there earlier, a pro side miss. So for that shot, a pro side miss would be hitting the red guard. Just a hair wide.
Gonna have to double peel.
Hair wide, and it seemed to track on her a little bit. So Beth Peterson with the chance to guard it up.
What?
Yeah. No, I know. I knew she's getting that though. No, it's like pretty much.
And as you can see, there's not a ton of line there, not a ton of ice, because it's not going to curl even with that nice guard weight. But you're getting a little bit of finish there, so hopefully it'll move up for the Peterson squad. It'll move up.
Ooh, we're up. Few hairs wide.
Just falling out.
So outturned guard here
Are
for
we
Beth.
past?
Sweepers are walking away from it like it's a little bit heavy.
And a little bit wide.
Two. Oh, just let it die.
So now getting this one to the top 12 might be a good option.
There's definitely a hole there.
So we'll see what Lisa decides here.
Think we can get through there? I think so. Do you like normal? Do you like normal then?
Yeah, there's definitely a spot for them to come through. It's
Should
whether you
fall.
can hit that spot with
Or do you like
that
not throwing
that
weight? Do you like
turn
throwing
there.
bump?
I don't know if we can get 7 feet less weight. We would have been probably okay.
Normal?
So
I think we
we're
gotta
gonna
throw
try
bump.
Done something with it. Sorry. Just
That should be fine.
just right at the end, I kind of popped it a bit. I was. Oh,
So you hear Lisa
I,
just
was sliding
indicating
and
to
I
Brittany
could
that
feel
it's
my
going to
body
fall
was,
out and she's going to throw normal weight.
No. We're just trying to hit shot and roll over it. That's fine because it's a hard hole to get through. And bump.
So make sure you guys stick around for the fifth end break. We're going to do a live interview with one of the players. Players get a 5-minute fifth end break.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
usually to hydrate, get some snacks, and
Whoa.
recover for the
Whoa.
rest of the game.
And this is looking really close.
I think they might have just jumped on that a little bit, and it
That
Did
works.
she
fell
get
out.
shot? Did she get shot?
Looks like it.
Looks like she got
Looks
shot.
like
That
she
was
So
there the entire time.
so great result there from Lisa Reed. Good throw and good shot. So Beth will be looking to get rid of that yellow rock. It does look that the red in the corner of the 12-foot stuck around on this one, so she's just looking to get rid of the yellow and lie 2 and force Lisa Reed to draw for 1.
So is she going to throw weight at this in a very short angle run back sort of thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess as long as you make contact with that yellow and stick one of your reds, you should be in a fairly good position to give the force.
Yeah, I think get rid of the yellow and you're happy. There is a potential that you could maybe get rid of the yellow and roll out, but the red on the corner of the 12 foot is fully buried from a yellow guard. So get rid of the yellow, and it looks like you got a force on your hands, which is what Beth Peterson was looking to do at the start of this end.
Right, and go into the 5th end break with the tie and the hammer. They're on that early.
So
That's pretty good.
they gotta go.
She's getting a little bit of curl here. Got a touch of that yellow, but not quite enough.
A little bit
Lisa
surprised on
Control.
the weight call on that shot. I thought she would throw that maybe a little bit harder
can't
so that
believe
if
you
she
didn't
made
hold that.
contact with the yellow, it would go.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah.
regardless, good sweeping and
A little.
half an inch away from a perfect shot. And right now, Lisa Reed's got a nose hit for 2.
Yep.
Just control.
Yeah, just those little half misses can sometimes come and give up a little extra point here and there. Lisa throwing that nice control weight to get this
Clean.
to make this stay
Clean.
true.
Yep. Whoa, just clean.
And clean is usually a good sign. Very nice.
Good couple throws there by Lisa. So she gets herself loose, and
Oh.
she'll be happy with how that worked out. So through the first 5 ends, we got a 4-3 score for Lisa Reed.
Top 4.
Both teams have put a little bit of rocks in play, and we've had some uncharacteristic misses, but when given the opportunity, Lisa Reed stuck around for 2. So she's got the 1-point lead heading into the 6th end. So like we said earlier, both teams have a 5-minute 5th end break to get some snacks and get rehydrated and maybe warm up. It is pretty cold out there this week.
Said he'd tell us.
Yeah, and it was a pretty eventful round robin for both of these teams. We've talked a little bit about Lisa Reed's 4-3 record and how that ended up going. But as for Beth, they ended up in first in their division with a 6-1 record. And interestingly enough, that one loss was came against this same Lisa Reed squad. So maybe a little bit of a grudge match here for us.
So 5th end break, they do chamois the ice real quick, and what you'll notice is coming into the 6th end is the ice is just a little bit faster because they take the frost off the top of that pebble with the chamois. So a big thing for a lead to remember in that first rock of the 6th end is that they're probably going to be looking at 2 to 3 feet faster than what the ice was in the 5th.
I told them, I said, I don't think he line those up very fast. I don't think he line those up that fast.
So update on the Braden Calvert game.
Sorry, that's Calvert got 2 in the 5th end with the last rock, so it is 6-3. Upcoming soon, we're going to have a interview with Lisa Reed.
Hey Lisa, How
Hi.
is your? How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, how would you say your first five ends have been as a team?
They haven't been bad. The ice is a little tricky, so we're trying to catch on to that, but it's a little difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you guys looking to do in the last five ends here that you think will get you guys the win?
Just kind of keep the same game plan, maybe execute a little more shots, catch onto the ice a little quicker. Maybe once we do that, we'll have the advantage over Peterson, but they're playing very well as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like one side of the sheet is curling quite a bit more than the other side of the sheet. So, how are you guys going to handle that the last five?
We're just going to do pretty much what we've been doing, taking negative ice when we need to and taking a lot of ice when we have to.
All right. Well, sounds good, Lisa. Good luck in your last five, and thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you.
So that was Lisa Reed, and we thank her so much for doing that fifth end interview with us. Right now, the score is 4-3, Lisa Reed, and Beth Peterson has a hammer playing six.
I didn't think she'd get shot out of it though.
And we're going to be back. We'll join you guys in a few minutes. So if you just hang around, we'll be back for the sixth end coverage of the 2015 Canola Junior Women's Provincial Championship.
Three, two, one, two man.
I think I tried that like once, and then it worked out. We only cut it down to one, but that was lucky because we were playing for double ends. But we just gotta keep doing what we're doing. It seems we're I don't know. Kind of boring stuff. Oh yeah, I'm over here. Just go around.
Excuse me. Excuse me. It's whatever it is.
Maybe I shouldn't have wore a bun. It was like falling off my head.
So back with sixth end coverage of the 2015 Canola Junior Provincial Championship. Lisa Reed with a 4-3 lead going into the sixth, looking to throw a top four. Ria Teranishi with her first rock.
Yeah, and I think Lisa going back to her game plan, which is keep things a little bit cleaner, a little bit in the house, try and keep things a little bit simpler. We sure have seen a few unforced errors and stuff, just because this ice has some tricky spots, and it's giving the girls a little bit of a headache sometimes. So maybe keeping it a little clean, hoping to pounce on those mistakes if there are.
Yeah, and I think Lisa Reed's game plan so far has worked out well for her. She's got the 1-point lead. Just as I was saying how the ice is a little bit faster in the sixth end, Ria comes up a little bit short, so she made me look bad there, but that's all right. I forgive her. And Brianne Yozenko comes with a nose hit to try to be outside of the rings, hopefully, so that Lisa Reed can't hit it. So intern nose hit for Brianne.
And they seem to be getting a little bit of a finish here. If they're being what's the word? If they're being patient with their calls, they get a little bit more of a finish than I think maybe they did at the start.
Yeah, and a great shot there from Brianne. Major thing there was to make sure that she got rid of the rock and didn't roll into the ring, so that Lisa Reed couldn't hit it. So it rolled to a nice spot, nice corner guard spot where that swing will curl in there. So good shot from Brianne, and Ria's looking to go top four here. Brittany on the sweep here.
Yep. Hard. Really curly. Really hard.
It's really warping in there,
Hard. Hard. Go.
as our friend Kyle Doring would say.
That's not terrible.
Friend of the show.
So good shot there by Rhea, and maybe just a little bit of an overcurl. So Brienne's basically got the exact same shot for a hit and roll behind the corner guard. Again, main thing here for a lead, all you leads out there, is make sure you stick on these open hit and sticks, because if you roll out, the other team has a chance to peel the guard and finish off the end. So it's very important that she throws nice, soft weight here.
And she's got that weight, but it may be just a touch outside,
Come off of
and
it.
those don't have a tendency to come back. Now Beth has changed her call a little bit.
So if that red sticks in the rings, which I don't think it did, it would have been a pretty good shot, but a little bit wide, and she hits her own out, and Lisa Reed's got a chance for another nice clean end here, which was her game plan. Nice clean end, and hoping to get a force for the Peterson team.
Yeah, Lisa's having a lot of success getting her game plan carried out.
So Brittany Hancock's here with her out turn. And good shot by Brittany, spreading those yellow rocks apart. So you'll see Beth try to hit and roll over there to group those stones again, maybe possibly get a blank out of this end. So Melissa Gordon in the hack, throwing her in turn.
Back line. Oh yeah, they go.
Looked like a pretty straight throw from Melissa.
And it's really down. Go. Yeah. Hard.
They're sweeping that one pretty hard.
Hard.
It seems to be really down. Not a lot of weight there at all. Like to sweep that yellow to get it out. Yeah, it's not going.
So a little bit lighter than they want, maybe just trying to focus on hitting the brim and throwing it clean, and forgot that she needed a little bit more weight. So again, Lisa Reed hitting, sticking, hoping to lay three here. Brittany Hancock's with her out turn.
Still lots of time in the end, but for sure this is going the way Lisa would like it to, and she's got three in the house and spread out enough that nothing's really looking too threatening at this point.
So a little bit of body English from Lisa Reed and Brittany Hancock's open this curls.
Looks like me bowling. Beth's not sure which one she's going to sweep.
And
Didn't matter in the end.
yeah, mission accomplished there for Brittany. Got the red out. So hit and roll for Melissa. This will be a little bit different of a throw for her. She's going on to the curly spot. She's going to need to throw it a little bit harder to try to reduce the amount of curl.
And she certainly seems to have that extra weight. And they're on this pretty hard. They're going to get a good piece of it.
And good shot by Melissa there. That was a tough spot to hit a rock with it curling so much.
For sure, and getting it out is keeping things a little bit simple, and nothing getting out of hand at this point.
So Blair with an opportunity to split the rings. Very important that she tries to get as much separation as possible and tries to keep them even. I'm a little bit surprised with the amount of ice Lisa's giving her for this shot, just because how we have seen from the start of the game, it is so straight. But with the right weight and evening up the stones is pretty good, no matter how much it curls.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to break off that center line too hard. But I think they're leaving it high for that exact reason, making sure that double is pretty tough.
Yeah, so good shot there by Blair. Good sweeping by the girls. And again, a hit and roll to try to group the stones for the Peterson team. Interesting fact about the Peterson team, the second, the third, and the skip are all first cousins, and they've curled together for 10 years.
That's a lot of time to get to know somebody, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that works to their favor. They obviously know each other very well, and if they've been able to curl together for 10 years, they obviously like each other enough. So that seems to work out well. So they'll be excited to be playing in the semifinal of the Canola Juniors. That's for sure.
And I guess after 10 years curling together, you really know what makes a person tick and how to maybe calm someone down when they're having a bad moment or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the longer you curl with your teammates, the more you know about them, obviously, and with the girls curling, with the Peterson team curling together for so long, I think all of them know the ins and outs of their deliveries and what to say at the right time. So Blair looking like she's a little bit light, like Melissa was there.
Right, and keeping that red in, giving Beth an option of something else to do instead of hit.
So I think what we're seeing there, guys, is just everybody's thinking about it a little bit too much. They're so scared of that spot in the ice that they're so worried about hitting the broom and throwing it so clean that they forget about the weight. And you see that a lot in juniors with people just overthinking their shots. And like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, the biggest thing about curling is hitting the broom and throwing the right weight. Once those other thoughts start creeping into your head, you find yourself overthinking your shot and you're making it harder than it needs to be.
And I would think the tendency usually when you're overthinking that is to throw too much weight on those hits. It's interesting to see them throwing too little.
Yeah, I think absolutely the tendency once the adrenaline's going is to definitely throw more weight, but with this spot being so straight, I think they're trying to protect so much. So Melissa and Brianne really working on this one. They want to definitely get it in the full 12 foot.
And it's losing all that weight with that curl, but should be good enough for third.
So that's a good shot there. Not exactly where they wanted it, but getting third shot there is the most important thing. So one mistake here by Lisa and Beth will have an opportunity at either a double to lay two or another shot of that freeze.
And with the way it curls there, that freeze is almost never out of the head.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get by that red one by a foot, then it'll still get to that back yellow. So like we were saying with the Beth Peterson team being together for 10 years, we have, on the other hand, Lisa Reed's team. This is their second season curling together. And Lisa was saying up until now, this is probably their best performance, so they're very excited about their opportunity to be in the semifinal of the Canola Junior Championship. And she said she's got a great group of girls, and she really loves curling with them. So she's really excited for the next couple games, hopefully. It looks like she just, like we were talking about, the adrenaline got going, and she just threw that a little hard. So this is an interesting scenario for the Peterson team, and I love that call from Beth Peterson, unlocking that yellow-red and laying first, third, and fourth.
That puts a little bit of heat on Lisa, doesn't it? It makes that one lonely yellow feel a little bit scary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a lesson for all the skips out there watching, is you don't necessarily always need to be first and second shot, looking at your options, looking at what the other skip has to make on their last one, as opposed to always focusing on trying to get that buried shot or second shot rock in this case. Curling is very much like a game of chess, and you're waiting to see what the opponent is going to do. And I think in Beth's scenario here, if she makes a good one, Lisa's going to have a lot of pressure on her to not leave her a shot for 3 or 4.
It looks like a timeout's been called by Coach Jack Gordon. He's the father of the second, Melissa, and he's been coaching them for a long time, as long as they've been playing. So he knows them just as well as they know each other.
Yeah, I think so too.
Funny thing about Jack is he actually had a full set of hair before the start of this event this week. He seems to be slowly losing it, as a lot of the parents out here at the Canola Juniors are getting a little stressed out. But he's hanging in there, and
How much ice for hack?
It's getting a lot lighter too.
Yeah, how much? You like that ice? We're hitting here and doing this, and hopefully this will go there. No, it'll happen. Do you like this ice? Okay. Here.
So I love the call from
Yeah.
the Peterson team here. I think it's a very experienced call. The
Look
one
at the
thing I
hair
will say
straight in the
is
middle.
with this curling so much, the one thing you don't want to do is overthrow this too much. If you the pro side miss would definitely be getting to the nose of your red, and would not be overthrowing it and missing the red altogether.
Right, you have to be careful you don't throw it right through the house because that would be pretty
What?
disastrous.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to let Lisa. This is an
Yeah,
opportunity where they
Ben,
don't
you're
want to
gonna
let Lisa off
beat
the
the roll
hook.
in this one. 95?
So talking to our sweepers, getting a split time. And it'll be an out-turn hack waiter for Beth.
Do you think maybe hack weight seems like a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think
Close.
hitting it in the right spot with
Yeah.
hack should give her the best
yes!
result.
High!
Really going on it to make sure they hit just a little bit of this rock here. And they're going to get to nose.
Sit!
That's too bad. And like you said, just a little bit of extra weight, and that puts it all the way through.
Yeah, a little bit of an overcurl that and there, and that's a missed opportunity. But in all fairness, it wasn't the easiest shot in the world, and she's gonna have an open shot for her one.
Oh, close.
Yeah,
to
for
her
sure. With
face.
that curl there, it's hard to take the right amount of ice. It curls so much that you just have to
That's what we want.
believe it will and take a pretty good amount of ice.
Yeah, and they were saying that it was the right weight. It's hard to look at almost 6 feet of ice for a shot like that. It's you don't practice that too many times. So Lisa Reed with the open hit here.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Likes it out of the hand.
Hard! Hard! Well, clean, just clean.
This one's curling a little bit, but should be perfect.
There's no room.
Yeah, good nose hit from Lisa. Good bounce back from her first one. And now it's Beth's turn for the nose hit.
I don't like that you turn it around. Okay.
She's just talking about there what she maybe has a catcher over there if she needs it. She switched the turn here. Now, why do you think she did that?
It's just more comfortable, I guess, throwing the out turn. Maybe a little scared of that in turn running straight on her. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of weight Beth decides to throw on this one, just because of the amount of curl. Anything less than bumper weight will definitely go sideways. So I think a nice control weight, right on the nose for one.
Throwing it early.
Yep. Right to it.
Really curling. She's got her
And
catcher
good
there
shot
to
for
save
Beth.
her.
One way getting one.
It's a good throw. They talked about that a little earlier, about having that yellow there, but certainly a little more exciting than it needed to be.
Yeah, and good for Robin for pointing it out that they had that catcher there. It's definitely good to realize if you have a little bit of a margin of error. It's always good to know which side of the broom you can throw on, you can miss on. So again, opportunities for both teams, but Beth Peterson gets forced one, and we have a tie game going into 7.
Yeah, and that's again mission accomplished for Lisa. She got 4. She's tied with the hammer, so she's turned that early hammer around and really taken control of this game a little bit.
So Brienne's looking to go top 4 here. Thought they might throw a guard and hope that Lisa would get forced to 1, but they're going to go top 4. No, they're going to go guard. I think this is probably the right call to not go in the rings and try to force Lisa to 1 in the 7th.
It does look like it's a little bit heavy, so we might be going with the plan B here.
Definitely want this one to slow down.
That just comes a little deep. Brienne's not going to be very, very pleased with that one. But that's okay.
So with that slip into the rings, Lisa Reed's going to hit it. As expected, it's always good to blank the 7th and score in the 8th, especially in a tie game. So Rhea with an outturn hit.
And they're really hard on this one. It seems to actually be moving a little bit in this spot now, maybe getting a little bit more of a curl, but still not a lot.
And good shot by Rhea. Again, like we talked about last end, very important for the leads to stick on your hit and sticks. That way Brienne doesn't have the opportunity to throw a guard. So Brienne Yozenko with an in-turn hit.
Seemed to throw that one nice.
And mission accomplished for Brienne. So I think you'll see Lisa go into the rings here.
Getting those free draws we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now she has the choice between which part of the wings to go to, right? So she's either choosing the left side or the right side of the sheet. Why do you think she's going this way?
I think earlier in the game we saw that at the right side of the sheet, that wide out turn on the 12-foot is very tricky to hit. So I think she's content with the blank here. So she's content with keeping the rocks close to the center line, hitting sticks until the end of the end. She doesn't want to get out into that crazy spot that we saw earlier in the game where it seems to fall back.
Right.
So 2 good throws from Rhea. And Melissa with an in-turn hit.
On and off of this one. Usually a fairly good sign. And hits it on the rings. An update on the men's junior provincial semi-final. To get to the final, the Cole Peters team with their last rock in 6 scored 2. So that game is now 6-5 for Calvert. So Cole Peters scored 2, and it's 6-5 for Calvert with the last rock.
And that's a big deuce for Peters to stay in the game.
Yeah, once again keeping pace with that strong Calvert squad.
And Brittany, unfortunately, with a big miss there.
Like the swingy one?
Just getting caught a little bit on that curl. Lisa had been giving Brittany the straight turn probably for, I think, 6 hits in a row. So I'm a little bit surprised she gave her the curly turn there. Sometimes as a player, it's hard to when you're throwing the same shot over and over and over again. It's hard to kind of switch over into that mindset where she's going to have to throw it a little bit more positive on the curly turn. So maybe a little miscommunication between Brittany and Lisa there. Either way, though, it was an open hit, and you got to think Brittany's going to make those most of the time. So Melissa Gordon here with an out-turn draw, just trying to guard it up, and this is very similar to what we saw in the 5th round.
And that's coming over nicely. This will do the trick.
Great shot by Melissa, 2 really good throws. So again, Lisa Reed's chasing now.
Yes, it does look a lot like the 5th end, but if we're Lisa Reed, we hope the result is the same as the 5th end when they got 2. So you never know what can really happen. There's still lots of end left.
So now she goes back to the straight turn for Brittany for the peel.
And this one's coming up a little bit.
Looking like she might make the run back.
Oh, just ticks it on the way by.
That is hard to do.
Second one around or another guy?
And unfortunately, those are the worst ways to miss those peels, because if you peel the guard, then it's gone. But just missing that red leaves it in and the guard up there still.
No, you can't come this way.
Yeah, so a couple tough ones for Brittany. I think
You could,
now it's
to be honest, you
a
might
tough
pop out
decision for
this
Beth
side,
what she
but
wants to do.
whatever you like.
With that red being 3/4
on the
exposed, it's
pin.
tempting to guard it. It's just such a straight spot that
So you like it?
it's a rock that you don't even know if it's worth guarding because it's such a hard shot to make.
Well, what do you like?
So her other thought is maybe going right in.
going intern around the center line guard.
Right.
I think I like the guard call for now and let Lisa peel for a couple rocks. It's just placement of these guards is so crucial because the last thing you want to do is let Lisa Reed off the hook and give her a double peel.
Yeah, give her a simple one.
Give her
right?
a simple double peel to get right back out at the end. So important shot here for Robin.
Yeah, and these guards have a way of, sometimes maybe seeming simple, but if you don't put them in the right spot, it can be disastrous for your end, right?
Oh, absolutely. Guards are one of those things that I know our team works on extremely hard because if you get the opportunity, if you're lucky enough to get a miss out of some of these teams, you need to be able to capitalize on it. And that's a pretty good shot from Robin. I think it's not an easy double peel.
Right, and, sitting beside the lead for the Jeff Stoughton squad, I think you know all about guards, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's all I throw is guards. I'm not complaining. It's a good thing.
You get good at them, yep.
So Blair looking for an out-turn peel here. If she does happen to catch about half of a rock, I think she might kick that yellow one out. And if she catches it really good, you might be able to get all three moving here.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of weight to get that going. But it's going to hit it in about the spot you want.
So good shot by Blair, just about as good as she could do. It just fortunately didn't have as much weight as... Wow, and that ever take a spin. So a bad break there for the Reed team with that spinning into the forefoot. So Robin's looking to replace that guard.
And if she can cap this off, then Lisa's in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, for sure. You get those bad breaks sometimes in curling with it moving in that lots of rotation there. Once it slows down, it can sometimes take a real turn.
So looking pretty close here. They're just waiting for it to curl up. Important that they guard the right hand side, but it looks like they left important that they guard the left hand side, but it looks like they left it open, so they'll be able to use the turn that's curling to try to get in there.
Right, you for sure want to over curl that guard as opposed to under curl it, because that side is so straight it's almost hard to hit a quarter of a rock. So if you leave a quarter open, it's not going to be, it probably won't be the end of the world, but leaving this left side open, it curls so much you can almost get the nose.
It looks like Blair might have got that started just a little bit. Sweepers are trying hard to hold it.
It's coming out the guard pretty quick. Okay, well.
And again, pro side miss there from Blair.
Absolutely. Best just going to replace that guard there.
Yeah, I think that in a perfect world, you want to go a halfway guard or a two guard, as most people use that number system. Bringing it nice and tight will give Lisa the opportunity to run it back. And the more distance in between the run back and the rocks in the house, the better for Beth right now.
Yeah, and probably a little bit further over towards the center line if the ideal situation is presented, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we said before, you want to try to eliminate the chance of Lisa's team using that turn that curls. So on these shots, when you're throwing the straight turn, very important as a sweeper not to jump the rock out of the skip's hands. You notice sometimes, even when it's light, the sweepers will sweep it and you will, as we like to call it, kill the line where the rock will back up, and then all of a sudden you have no line on your shot. So good job by Melissa and Brianne to be patient on this stone and let the line work a little bit before they get their brushes down on it.
So that's about the perfect spot to put it.
Yeah, it's a great team shot from the Peterson team there. It's really important that Robin doesn't scream out a best hand if she's a little bit tight, and that the sweepers don't jump it if they think it's a little bit light. So good team shot there, and it looks like Lisa's is debating if she needs to play the run back or some sort of draw.
It certainly curls enough to get that draw there. I would just be worried about maybe it being hard to get it to the exact spot you want.
Do you like the peel or the draw?
If you're Lisa Reed here, what would you call?
I think if I'm Lisa Reed, I would be playing one more run back. I think making contact with those ones in the rings is pretty important. If you ever miss the draw and Beth makes another good one in there, you're looking at maybe a steal of two. Um, it's always good to give yourself a chance on your last one to or on your first one to kind of eliminate some stones. It's a pressure shot either way for Lisa, but I think the smarter call is to try to get one in the rings, let Beth guard it, and then maybe draw a tap on your last one.
Yeah, I think that's the right call because it's so straight there that if
Probably
you
gonna
throw
throw a
it
big peel.
if you throw it well and right on, it should be close.
So, seventh end of the 2015 Canola Junior Provincial Championship.
Oh, just stand there.
Lisa Reed
I
looking
can hear you
for an
guys
outturn
if you were
run back.
saying anything. Big peel.
So you hear her say she's bringing the heat on this one.
She's ripping it.
Even if we just run it back, that's fine.
See that?
Hug! Whoa!
They seem to be going for maybe
Clean.
a peel here.
Yep, so good shot by Lisa.
She got what she wanted out of it, so that's very good.
So interesting scenario for Beth Peterson. I don't know what you do here. I think putting the guard back in the same spot is a pretty darn good shot, but with the ice being so straight, I would almost like to move it another 6 inches over to left and let her throw at that straight spot.
Maybe full center line almost.
Yeah, maybe almost splitting the center line, making that wide shot a little bit tougher and letting her peek at that straight spot, maybe hoping that Lisa Reed takes a shot at it.
Or even thinks about it at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
And would you hope to be a little tighter in the house, or was that about a good spot?
Yeah, so like we said on the first rock where we wanted it a little bit higher to make the run back harder. This one you can almost bring a little bit tighter because Lisa might be playing a draw. So it looks a little heavy out of her hand.
It's got to move for sure if you want to get it all the way over. Should get a little finish at the end. There they go to finish it off. It's about the exact same spot it was in before.
Yeah, so good shot by Beth, and I would say this is probably the first end that we've seen the Peterson team take advantage of a miss from the Lisa Reed team.
And really put some pressure on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lisa Reed has done a good job of capitalizing on her opportunities, and I think same can be said for the Peterson team this end. So, seventh end of the Canola Junior Championship, in-turn draw, tap for Lisa Reed for 1 point. Said a little heavy out of her hand, but
it should curl enough that that's not a problem.
Yeah, she's trying to move. She's trying to move the back one.
It's got a catch.
It's definitely curling. Might just be a little too much weight.
So you'll see Robin get in there to sweep it. And it looks like a steal of 1 for red. Great shot by Lisa Reed there to cut him down to a steal of 1. That was not an easy shot to try to get 1.
Yeah, and a good end for the Beth Peterson squad. They really got what they wanted out of that in a big steal.
I didn't know if it was going to come down.
And an update on sheet 6 over there with the men's semifinal. Calvert has been forced to 1 in the 7th, so they took 1 in 7. So that score is 7-5 in the 8th end. Peters has the last rock.
Yeah, and a good battle going over there between two great junior men's teams.
Great throws on yours made it impossible.
Well, I was talking to somebody this week, and they were saying it's really too bad because 3 of the top junior men's teams in the nation are all in Manitoba. So we got a really good semifinal going right now, and I'm sure a really good final tonight or today at 4.
Yeah, anytime you got the past 2 Canadian junior champs in the final 3, it makes it hard. And I know that Cole Peters is hoping to join that group. They're definitely good enough. So yeah, we're gonna have an interesting boys semifinal finish and a guys final, I'm sure.
just as I'm sure these women are going to give us a show also.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, winner of this game will move on to play Shannon Burchard from St. Vital in the final today at 4 p.m. Of course, Shannon is a two-time Manitoba Junior winner and a two-time national finalist, so she's looking to get back in her last year to finish that last game off in nationals. And they've had a great run so far, going 8-0 so far this week.
Yeah, and they really showed the quality of their team this morning. They played really, really well against this Beth Peterson squad, which maybe admittedly wasn't playing as well as they have, but for sure Shannon put a lot of pressure on that squad and played really well this morning, so that'll be a great final tonight.
So a little bit of an overcurl on Brianne Yozenko's first one, and a great shot by Ria. Puts a little bit of pressure on Brianne's second one to make a good freeze here. Again, like we talked about, pro side miss. Pro side miss on this shot would be full 8 foot, full 12 foot, about half open.
And why would it be okay to be half open at that point?
I think if you're a little bit light, being half open gives you the opportunity to hit it on Melissa's shot or later in the end. Whereas if you fully bury top 12 foot, it's pretty difficult for the Beth Peterson team to ever get at it.
Right. And that comes up just quite a bit too light, so it's a tight guard at this point.
Yeah, and looks like those are probably our first guards of the game, so it looks like we'll have a couple rocks in play here, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've had may seem a very, very clean game. Has been very well curled, but definitely not a lot of junk in the house and junk out front, so it's been a pretty clean, straightforward game. So might be a little bit of a nice change to see some junk out there and see them throwing some guards and draws. What was that? Oh, they almost got it by. Very good sweeping by that too.
Yeah, good sweeping by Blair and Brittany, and great throw by Ria there. Unfortunately, it's one of those things, if you're just a little bit slow in anticipating the curl, it just seems to take off on you. So Beth Peterson looking at an opportunity to maybe play a double here and get herself out of a little bit of trouble.
She's going to be counting on her second Melissa to make this shot. Not an easy one with this curl, but definitely possible. Pretty early.
They got to go to get this one by the guard.
Yeah, for sure. They're by the guard. That roll's not terrible.
Yeah, and good sweeping by the front end, or by Robin and Brianne there, and good line call by Beth.
Yeah, and that's that was a good example of maybe anticipating that curl. They knew it was going to happen, so they were on it before it did happen. Because by that point, it's just too late. It'll just go too far.
So an intern from Brittany trying to wrap one around their top 8 foot.
Sweepers like the weight. Really diving in there.
Great shot by Brittany. So they got the Peterson team chasing a little bit here.
Yeah. Looks like Beth's going to throw the run back there.
So again, on these shots, it's very important to recognize as a thrower where you can afford to, where's your margin of error. If, for example, on this shot, if she hits it a little bit left side of the broom, she could run it into the red one onto the yellow, or she could run it straight through the hole onto the yellow. Looks like she's going to go onto the other side of it and hit the top guard, which is a little bit of an unforced error there. She would have liked to at least cleared the tight guard.
And like you were saying, that is that's not the pro side miss there. That kind of puts them in a little bit more trouble. So Lisa opting to throw the same shot.
Yeah, and an alternative to this shot would maybe be drawing open side to the wing, maybe back 8 foot, and seeing if Beth would just take the bait and hit the back one. If you ever click off on this freeze and leave a double, then you're kind of getting yourself out of a good spot. Sometimes you find yourself kind of getting drawn to the middle of the rings all the time when there's a guard up there, and sometimes it's good as a skip to kind of just step back and look at the rings and say, if I was Beth in this case, what would I want you to do? And I think Beth's getting a little bit of a break with the bounce off there.
Right.
So
and
that's
with that curl, you can certainly make that double.
yeah, absolutely. And realistically, Brittany was only half a foot away from making a perfect shot, so her margin of error there was very, very slim, whereas drawing maybe back 8 foot, she had anywhere from the tee line to a little bit deeper to back 12, full 12 to be third shot.
Robin's got a little chance to help out here.
Yeah, out turn hit.
Got a lot of weight. Got a curl. That extra weight, I think, just kept it a little straighter, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe just a little bit hard or a little bit too much ice.
Or a mix of both.
Or a mix of both, absolutely.
So Lisa's just going to follow him down. Probably hope to throw a little less.
Yep, Blair in the hack with an out turn hit. This one's really hooking in there.
Just going to get by the guard there, and that should be okay.
That's fine.
It's
And it worked out pretty good for them, absolutely. It's a good shot by Blair.
the red's not gone, but certainly 1, 2, 3 for yellow is not a bad situation to be in.
So I think Beth's looking to bail definitely here. I think she's got to be running that tight guard in.
Straight back at this point?
Yeah, I think so. Straight on to the one in the top 8 foot, or straight through onto the 2 in the 4 foot. She's got a pretty big target. If she hits it anywhere from 3/4 low to 3/4 high, she's going to get rid of a yellow, and it'll be looking a little bit better. But it looks like Beth sees it, so they're just trying to decide where to hit it.
Yeah, she's deciding which option she'd rather throw at. I think she's a little afraid of that the rock in the 8 foot there because she doesn't want to jam on her red. But for sure at this point, you just got to start getting some yellows out of there. It's looking a little bit dire. Going with the curly turn.
So, bringing the heat.
She really put that one out. She's really got a curl.
And good shot. And there's nothing wrong with moving that around at all.
Now they certainly didn't help their situation. Yellow's still 1, 2, 3, but everything's in the house now and there's no guards, so don't have to worry about that anymore.
Beth will have an opportunity to make a couple doubles.
Yep, everything's fairly close together, so it's not the worst situation.
So Blair looking for a nice nose hit here.
Certainly a little further out, but it should come back.
Yeah, it looks like she's got nice controlled weight.
Yeah, should be good. Roll a little bit. Nope, it's perfect. Right on the nose.
So interesting about that throw is now red is forced shot. So if Beth Peterson was making this double, then it might Lisa Reed does have a little bit of pressure on her to stick her next shot.
Right. And which double are you throwing here? What? Because there are a few.
Yeah, I think the double, the nose hit onto the 4 foot onto the tee line,
Okay.
is the right double to call.
Yeah, those ones are fairly close, so it shouldn't be a terribly difficult double. Although with this turn, it's hard to know.
Yeah, absolutely, and we always like to think as when you're skipping is make the easy ones and make Lisa look at the hard ones. So So Beth looking to make a nose hit double here.
Coming with a lot of weight there. For sure we'll keep it straight. They're going to go on it now, hoping to get it come out a little bit.
They're going to have to go on the back yellow.
Should be a really nice shot.
Yeah, and a great shot there by Beth.
It's
Yeah, so like I said, Lisa can't roll too far here without without potentially leaving that red on the other side of the 8-foot second shot. But if she does hit and stick, Beth's gonna have to make a good one not to give up a big end.
Yeah, there's certainly some pressure on both sides right now to see what's going to come of this end. Lots of rocks in play because we had those guards out and they were used accordingly.
So intern hit here for Lisa.
A little bit positive. Should be okay. Clean's a good sign.
That looked like a nice throw from Lisa, and she's got Peterson in a little bit of a jam here.
Beth almost taking Lisa Reed out. That is one way to defeat your competition.
So very important that Beth sticks around here, but she's looking to try to get a roll. I think Jack's going to call a timeout, and another option would maybe be able to draw right on the top of the can, and that way Lisa has to play a short run back for 2, and her margin of error goes up a little bit.
Right. I think Jack's probably a little worried if you don't make that hit on the 5 perfectly, she's going to have a double for 3, which definitely doesn't end the game or anything like that, but 3 points is
I just don't know.
not good to give up late in the game.
Yeah, I think a draw here.
Oh yeah, you're for sure. It's like that's the only thing though.
Put in the right spot is
Because if you
very
go
good.
here, she crotches it and they're both gone.
It's hard to put the hit and roll in a perfect spot that doesn't leave Lisa Reed a double for 3.
Yeah. Well then why don't we?
But at the same point, if you
Well, then why
make
don't
it
we
in your
just draw
line 1,
here?
2, and she does take on the double, and she misses it, you might be able to get a cheap steal.
What kind of ice here then? Here? Like that? Is that ice? Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We have tons of time. I know, but if you go here, they're both gone. To freeze this? No, you can't freeze that with the out there.
So they're talking maybe about freezing that outside yellow also. You heard Beth say she's a little worried about that double still being there, even with
that's
the
true.
freeze.
Yeah, the freeze is.
No, I like draw, but I just don't know where.
Freeze is
to go.
Definitely a tough shot for sure.
No,
She's
I know.
got to be at least 3/4 on the Yellowstone
We can
without
be nose,
moving
we
it an
can
inch.
let her
If she
sit
moves
one.
it, Lisa's gonna have a crotch
we
double.
sit
I think
freeze nose, we might.
I think this is a tougher shot than drawing around the top one in the top of the 12-foot.
Okay. No.
So if
I
you
think,
were
yeah, I think I did that.
if you were Beth Peterson right now, what would your call be?
I think if I was Beth Peterson, I'd be trying to draw right around the one in the top of the 12-foot, right on the pinhole.
And then Lisa has to make a nice shot to even get 2 at that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She would have to play a run back. I mean, the chances if you did miss the draw that she would have a double, but right now you're kind of putting all your eggs in one
What is it?
one basket
Still
anyway
15?
with this shot. So make a good freeze here, and you might get an unforced error from Lisa, and maybe get a
I think
steal
that
or a
was a
forced
little
one.
less, but
Yeah, and with the ice, the way it's
My draw
tricky
for
it's
2.
been, as tricky as it's been, it might not be easy to make that double.
Yeah. Okay, 10-15.
Just an update on the men's semifinal in a second after Beth throws this rock.
wait still.
Slow, Bree, if you can. Where?
So Super's
Okay,
indicating
go then.
a little light out of her
Line's
hand.
good. Line's great.
They like the line.
Line's really
seems to be a little down for sure. If they can get it to the 8 foot, they should be okay. Sure have to get it a little further.
And unfortunately, just a little bit light. So newest hit for Lisa Reed for 4.
Yeah, that certainly is too bad for the Beth Peterson squad. We really wanted to be in the house at that point, for sure. But Lisa's got this shot here for the 4, and it's not a terribly difficult one for her, so mission accomplished there. As for the men's semifinal, the Calvert squad has stolen 2 in the 8th end, so that score is 9-5 now. Peters has the last rock, and Calvert is in control at this point.
Yeah, and it looked like Cole had to draw a full 12 foot against a couple biters, and they just came up a little bit light. So uphill battle for those guys now. And
Lisa's
did
not
she
really
float this out?
Lisa's not really pleased with this shot.
And oh man, what
That's
a break
too
that
bad.
is. And
Yeah,
one.
those are hard ones to swallow for sure. That's too bad. Yeah, Beth Peterson dodges a pretty big bullet there. But
That's if anybody's seen The Matrix, that's as close to you get as dodging bullets as I've ever seen.
they pulled a Neo. Yeah, certainly, you know what? Lisa Reed can throw her name on that end. It was a really good end, just not necessarily the end result they wanted, but you build on those ends and hopefully take it into the next.
But again, tie game after 8. Now Lisa's got the hammer coming home, so she's still very much in control of this game if she wants to be. She's one of those ones that you just got to shake off and keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
Again, the end result that you guys saw was not indicative of the throw. It's just a little bit too much ice. I was a little bit surprised they even took that off the rock. They should have taken probably negative ice on that spot. But we've seen that throughout this game. It's just a hard spot to trust.
And really, with that she gave it a little positive release too, and it will not come back if you do that. It's pretty release sensitive out there, so yeah, just a combination of things, and didn't get the result they wanted. But again, it was a good end, and they can move on, take that.
I'm very
momentum.
surprised about this call. She's throwing it in the rings. I would expect Beth Peterson to be hitting this.
Yeah, if you're Beth Peterson, you're really happy with a blank here.
And she is. She's hitting it. So I'm very surprised about that call from Lisa to go in the rings there. So she virtually just handed the hammer over to Beth for the 10th end of the game.
Yeah, still a lot of end to go, but that certainly is a call that maybe will facilitate things for Beth, who wants an open end, either an open 2 or an open blank, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what Lisa does. I mean, we have seen this before in this game where we've the first 5 ends, the first rock was thrown in and deuces were scored. So it's not. I shouldn't say it's exactly going to be a blank for sure, but I'm a little bit surprised Lisa Reed didn't try to force the issue and get a force in 9.
Yeah, is that the ideal situation for Lisa at this point? Is a force of 1?
Yeah, I would say a force and score a deuce coming home. Anytime you have the hammer and you're coming home, you have a good chance of winning. And by calling it in and letting Beth hit, she just virtually, like I said before, gave Beth the hammer playing 10. But we'll see. Still only in second rocks at this end, and Brianne Yozenko drawing to the corner.
Yeah, Beth's gonna put this in that. Well, let's just call it the Bermuda Triangle out there. It's a really tough spot, and they've had some trouble with it. So she's gonna throw it out there and see if she can't get a miss and maybe score her easy deuce.
Yeah, and we've been talking about pro side miss all game, and a pro side miss in this situation for Beth would be through the rings as opposed to a guard. The last thing Beth wants is guards. If she throws a guard and Lisa Reed happens to go around it and somehow forces her, that would be bad news for Beth. So good throw by Brianne. Perfect weight. Puts it on the tee line, and we'll be seeing a hit from Lisa Reed, I'm sure.
Just control.
Yeah, both teams seem to be content with this end so far, so that's most likely what we'll be seeing. And of course, just a reminder, the winner of this game will be playing at 4 p.m. Against Shannon Burchard. That will be at 4 p.m. and we'll be providing updates along with that one as well as staying with the men's final.
I'm very excited for the men's final. I think regardless of who wins the semifinal, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of great shot making out there. I know both Calvert and Peters love throwing runbacks as well as Dunstone, so there's going to be a lot of junk and a lot of big shots in those games. I'm sure.
So again, really important as a sweeper to at this point of the game to make sure make sure everybody is cleaning rocks. Last thing you want to have happen, unfortunately, in our game is picked rocks, and it's really important for the front ends to be keeping busy. A lot of front ends will stand at the hog line and wait for the thrower to throw, and I think it's very important for anybody learning the game to realize that the more the front ends can be moving around, cleaning the path, getting the dirt out of the way, the less picks you're going to have. It's very important as a front end to always make sure that you guys are throwing on a clean path.
Yes, and you certainly don't want your game to come down to a picked rock. So if you make sure you're keeping aware of that and keeping everything clean, that won't have to be something you talk about 30 years later.
So back and forth we go. Everybody's sticking the open hits.
Yeah, funny, we haven't actually, all these open ends have usually ended up having a few errors here and there, but so far everything's staying pretty clean. They're certainly getting used to these spots and getting used to the weight and line calls required. As if on cue, this one a little bit out, might go all the way out there, yeah.
Regardless, good shot. Got mission accomplished for Melissa. Got the rocks out of the rings.
And Lisa's going to throw that on the top 4. What's the draw for the spot there? Why are they throwing it there?
I think Lisa's been trying to find this spot for a couple ends. Every time she seems to have an open draw, this seems to be the spot she's going to. So I don't know if this is just a spot their team is very comfortable with, or this is the spot that maybe she's still trying to figure out.
And just an update for Sheet 6, the men's semifinal rocks are being kicked back, so that's a final there. I'll get you a score when I get one, but Cole Peters has been defeated by Braden Calvert, so Calvert will be going to the final. I'll get you a final score when I see one.
So at 4 p.m. today, we will have Braden Calvert from Deer Lodge against Matt Dunstone from the Granite. The last 2 Canadian junior champions battling for the final, which is going to be an absolute barn burner.
Yeah, you couldn't have drew that one up too much better. That's really exciting. It'll be a great game.
And again, great week for Cole Peters and his team. Played well, extremely well all week, and unfortunately came down to running into a Canadian junior champ, and Braden just is shooting lights out today.
Yeah, there certainly is there's no great shame losing to such a great team like that, and I'm sure we've all felt that before. It's not easy losing those semifinals when you get the chance, but they had a great week, and all the more power to them. They had a great week.
So with the hit and roll out by Robin, Blair Hyde with the same draw.
I think Robin was
She was peeling, right?
yeah, fairly pleased with that because it was outside of the house, so Robin was just trying to get rid of that one, not sitting around and leaving a guard for Lisa to use. We're really playing hard for a blank here if we're for the Beth Peterson squad, and Lisa's throwing up some guards now, so we'll see what happens.
So interesting that they're throwing guards now as opposed to at the start of the end, where when Brianna wasn't able to peel them. But important shot here.
Yeah, and I think a certain part of that is that they're coming up light on those
Gotta
draws
go on
a
this
little
one.
bit.
Really gotta go on this one.
And now that's a bit of an error because Lisa's for sure going to use that guard, and if it comes buried, then Beth may have no choice but to start going around guards and trying to get her going a little bit hard for it.
So So, big opportunity here for Lisa Reed in the ninth end of the semifinal of the Canola Junior Women's Provincial Championship.
And a great opportunity to use the turn that curls a lot, so you've got a lot of room to play with
make
this
it
one.
top 4.
Yeah, shouldn't have a problem burying
85?
this rock.
Teranishi and Hyde on
You're
the
gonna have to go
sweep
like
here.
handle. Where?
Already calling to go for the
Hard.
sweep.
Hard.
That's really warping.
Hard.
It's going to be close to the guard, that's for sure. Teranishi got to go hard on that. And just a little too,
Hard in.
little inside on this off the start for sure.
Very interesting scenario here now. So Beth Peterson with a chance to hit and stick. Very important she sticks around in the rings here. If she rolls out, she gives Lisa Reed the opportunity to draw around that guard and get potentially a steal, if not a force, for sure. So, important hit and stick, and we'll see if Lisa Reed decides to draw or hit and roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, first and foremost, Beth has to make sure this goes out, but you definitely want to stick around so that it leaves Lisa thinking about something, whether she goes around and ignores your rock or hits it herself and gives up the blank. Beth would probably be okay with either, but she certainly needs to make this shot first.
Oh. Whoa.
Beth calling off.
Whoa. Whoa.
Really hoping this hooks. And looks like it'll get rid of it, but
Certainly
Hard
got enough
it
of it.
Lisa
was
Reed will
weird.
be happy with that result as she
That's
gets
my
a
antenna
chance to
really
draw
straightened
in.
out. Straightens it out. Because that was
Yeah,
not
and if Lisa
solid
buries
normal.
this perfectly, Beth is going to be
It's my
forced
intern,
to
Nicholas.
draw for her one.
Oh,
But it certainly
yeah, I guess that's true.
isn't, with the way it curls here, it isn't
That was really
impossible to make the peel, even if it is buried half to three-quarters. So there will certainly be something for Beth to think about.
Yeah, I think it's important for any juniors curlers watching this is that you do not need to squeak by guards when it curls this much. It's the number one important thing is to get by the guard, and once you're by the guard, the rock will keep curling. I think Lisa can get by the guard by about a foot on this and still be buried.
For sure, especially with this curl. Curls so nice in here. And there we go. We got that room that we were talking about. And it's certainly coming in there nicely.
So a little bit heavy maybe. Pretty good shot by Lisa, and she's going to force Beth Peterson to draw for one.
Right.
So great shot by Lisa Reed there on a missed opportunity from the Peterson team.
And now, if you're the Beth Peterson squad, I know you for sure want to make this shot for one, but is giving up a steal of one the end of the world also?
No, absolutely not. It's definitely with the 4-rock rule, it's definitely a possibility to get a deuce. The percentages are a little bit higher with the team that's one up with, but I know that certain teams prefer to be down one with a hammer coming home.
Right. So Beth's going to have to throw up some guards this next shot, this next end, whether she makes this or not. But with the curl here, it shouldn't be an impossible shot.
So we saw Beth come light with this rock last end. So let's.
Okay. Just go.
Yeah, and they're on it quick. They seem to really feel like it needs to be swept. It's coming in.
So lines should be close. They gotta definitely bite the button.
They may have overswept that.
And they overswept it,
They
so it'll
overswept
be a
it.
steal of one for yellow.
That's too bad.
Good throw by Beth there. Just
Yeah,
maybe
Brianna
got
Valentin.
caught up with Beth throwing the last couple, and maybe a little bit light, and the sweepers wanted to go.
Yeah, that might have been in their head just a little bit.
So steal of one for Lisa Reed, and Beth Peterson will be coming home in the 10th end with hammer.
Yeah, certainly. They're certainly not in a terrible situation. They don't need to be too worried about it. And now Reed's throwing up that guard.
It's very interesting that they're throwing the guard now when they're up, as opposed to last end. But this team has been together for 2 years, and they know what works for them.
Yeah, certainly. Curling's not a one-size-fits-all sport. So some teams do things a little bit differently, and this certainly has been working for them, seeing as they're in the semifinal. But yeah, certainly you probably would see the Rock go in now and try and keep things a little bit open for the Lisa Reed squad, but they feel like maybe it's time to go. So they're going to try really hard to get the steal here for the win.
So I think if I'm Beth Peterson, I'm going around this guard, considering that the corner guards just don't curl.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, I think this is the right call. I would love the corner guard if you could make the corner guard on both sides, but I think where that center line guard ended up, throwing the corner guard on the right side of the sheet, you're just gonna run out of room trying to draw around it.
And on the left side of the sheet, you couldn't get around it if you tried.
Yeah,
so
the left side of the sheet, it doesn't curl. So good job from Beth recognizing that. An important shot here by Brienne.
Definitely coming at the guard hard here. Melissa's got to be hard on this one. Really close. And that's going to tick the guard. And that's okay.
And they're hoping it stops.
Not quite. The weight was probably pretty close. Just
a little bit tight.
Yes.
So, hit here, out-turn hit for Rhea.
Both teams have certainly been throwing well and had their share of mistakes, but it's been a great curling game so far. This one's really curling.
Is that going to get out? And
close,
just good enough.
But it was good enough. So good throw by Rhea. Made it exciting, but ended up with the result she wanted.
So Brienne will be looking for the same weight, just trying to get out to the broom here. Line looks a lot better on this one.
They seem to think it's a little heavy too. Which if it starts to curl could be an asset, but certainly not looking at it right now.
We talked about maybe in the second end about slide path, and this is about the time in the game where the slide path will make a difference on the speed of some draws. So you'll see a lot of people think the rock's heavy, and then all of a sudden it'll get to the middle and it'll just stop, kind of just exactly how Brienne's shot there just happened. They thought it was heavy the whole way, and it got into the middle a bit, and it's just slowed down on them. So in-turn hit for Brittany Hancock's.
Can you just quickly explain a little bit more of that slide path? So are you talking about where they're kicking out of the hack, or whether they're sliding down the sheet on their sliders?
Yeah, so basically when a person is delivering a stone, their line of delivery goes over a certain path of the ice over and over and over again, and that takes we got a big miss here.
Over. And that's going to be a corner guard that Beth can maybe use. Though it is far out there, it does curl enough to get around it.
So, as the game wears on and more people are sliding down, it flattens the pebble out. And that's where you kind of notice at your curling club on Monday nights or Wednesday nights where it kind of gets a little bit flat. And the rocks just seem to stop when they get into that. And it's really important for these guys to realize where the slide path is and where it isn't, because on a shot like this, they're going to fresher pebble, where they're not really getting into the slide path. So this one will slide a lot better than Brienne's did.
Right.
So there
and
it goes.
Certainly needs to curl.
There it goes. It's hooking around that guard pretty good. And great judging and great shot by Melissa.
Now that Lisa's now main job is to make sure you can at some point get a double here and get out of this situation, because a 2 is giving up a 2 is a loss here. So you need to get those rocks grouped a little bit better, and luckily for Lisa, they've had a fairly good time doing that today. So they jumped that one a little early, hoping it's going to come back.
So a little bit of a protective throw there, I think, from Brittany, and just got a little bit scared about her first one. So she hits and rolls. Interesting scenario here for Beth. She could guard her red rock if she wanted to, but it looks like she's going to play the hit.
Yeah, throw the nose hit and hope you can continue this pattern for the rest of the end.
Yeah,
that's for sure a lot of rocks to come and a lot of opportunities to let this ice fool you a little bit, but that's what she's going with, a little bit more of a safer approach.
So Melissa's thrown this a couple times this game, so expect her to be close.
Should move up a little bit, but it still seems to be a little far on the outside.
And perfect.
Oh, that was really close. That,
You gotta believe nobody wanted that rock to stop rolling more than Melissa.
Yeah. I could see her sucking in.
So that's about as spread out as you can get for the Beth Peterson team. So right now they're 4 shots away from a win, and Lisa Reed's trying to grasp at some straws here.
Now, eventually, is she going to have to start drawing, or is this her main objective right now to start taking out reds and hope for a miss?
Well, I think right now the way the game has gone, it's important for Lisa's team just to keep hitting and hoping for a miss, hoping for maybe Beth to group the stones for them, or hoping that they can potentially group the stones and make a double. If we see it get down to split rings by Lisa's last rock, I think Lisa's going to have to freeze.
Yeah, it certainly isn't the end that Lisa was hoping for, but Robin has thrown a lot of weight on this one, and it might not come all the way that she needs it to. Yeah, that certainly isn't going to stick around, but will she get a piece? Yeah, she does. Yeah, just that bit extra weight than the Lisa Reed team has been throwing, like we've seen all game.
So maybe a little scared of the curl there, and maybe a little bit of adrenaline, as we were talking about. Sometimes it's a good idea to just slow down in these last ends of these big games. Both teams have lots of time on their time clocks. Again, this looks like plenty of ice for a hit on the straight spot. But nice soft weight from Blair.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll come up for them. It seems to be curling a little bit, so it looks like it should be good. She certainly didn't throw a lot of weight.
So great shot by Blair.
Yeah, and Beth's going to try and get that out so she can go around that guard again. And there you go.
So in a normal curling game, that yellow guard would probably be out of play, but the way it's been curling here, it's definitely a usable corner guard. So Robin will be looking to put it in the 12-foot, buried around that yellow.
Robin certainly got the weight there.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of line right now.
Yeah, certainly could use some curling. But they want to make sure that they first and foremost get it in the house. And it certainly doesn't seem to be getting there easily.
So good sweeping by the girls, and not a bad shot from Robin. If Lisa Reed's team happens to nose it, then they have a chance at drawing around it.
Yeah, it's certainly close to in at least.
Gotta hit it anyway.
Kind of hard to tell from this point of view, but it's certainly close enough to warrant hitting it.
Yeah, Lisa's gonna hit it.
I'll probably be up, so that's why yeah.
So you heard her comment, I'll probably be up, so just watch for that. We know that's maybe what happened on Robin's first rock, that just ticked the yellow out, so
Hard roll, Bria. Your way.
make
You
sure
don't
you're
wanna leave
watching
in the
that
corner.
one.
Yeah, so in a perfect world here, Lisa would hit and roll right to the center line. Maybe make Beth draw around the corner guard, not be shot if made properly.
She certainly has the weight.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, and just again, same as Robin's, just throwing that extra weight just keeps it a little bit straighter and certainly gets it out.
Yeah, so she does the trick. So
Of course, mine doesn't curl.
so you'll see
Doing
Beth. I thought you might see Beth take a little bit less ice and really try to hook it in
Yeah,
there.
I was
but
wondering about that. But it seems maybe
maybe just a little bit light on Robin. So they're going to try to throw T-line weights and get it hooked in there and hope for a miss on Lisa's
5-10?
last.
seen this rock quite a few times.
Yeah, with the right weight, I think it'll bury in there fairly nice.
Beth's had a little bit of trouble coming up light with her shots, but her last
Looks
rock
like a
on
lot.
9 was
Wait if
pretty
you can.
close.
Wait if you can.
Okay, so line, it looks like a little bit heavy right now.
That looks like a heater.
It should come down.
No.
I think it'll stick around.
Sweepers need to stay with it.
For
Sit.
sure.
Sit.
I think it'll sit. Oh.
Melissa, I can't see. Melissa!
So Melissa,
I know, but I can't see a thing.
Melissa blocking the draw from
I like to watch
Beth's eyes, but still a pretty good shot. Not an easy shot for Lisa. She's gonna have to be looking at that guard a little bit, but
Oh, what's that?
not as much curl as Beth thought she would get there, and maybe a little bit heavy. And
Yeah, maybe a touch too much ice like we were thinking about earlier. And Melissa and Beth have made up.
Give
and
myself a little
they're
less
all-
because I
they're all
threw
good.
like peel last day.
So Lisa's talking about a little less weight this time because she had almost
Just
peel
nose.
last time. Want to be careful that you don't take it back too much.
Yep. Yep. Whoa.
that looked like a good throw from Lisa.
Yeah, it should be fine to get the red out.
Clean.
Okay, now Beth's gonna go to take her one there.
Yep. So she needs a piece of the 8-foot for the extra end, and we'll get some bonus coverage here.
More Connor and Scott for you, lucky.
So again, like we were talking about earlier in the end, this is important to slow down and just take a deep breath. She's got tons of time on her clock to just reset and take her time, talk to her sweepers, and make sure she knows the weight.
Yep, she's thrown lots of draws to the button over the week, so this shouldn't be out of her wheelhouse. Sweepers are close, but not too close.
All you guys.
So talking about
Oh, you-
slide path earlier in the end, this would be
Oh, you-
entering the slide path.
We're moving.
So very important to
moving.
keep it alive.
All you.
Yeah, keep it going.
Put it there.
Try and get it to the 8-foot.
Lily.
And that's a great throw.
Lily. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Good sweeping by the girls.
It's a good throw,
What,
and
no
then
claps for me,
we're going to
people?
move on to the next
Lisa got a round of
extra
applause.
end.
Yeah, so here we go. Bonus
Thanks.
coverage from the 2015
Alright, you got it.
Canola Junior Women's Semi-Final.
Beth's upset because Lisa got a round of applause on her last one, and she
How about you,
didn't. So
coaches?
she's trying to bring up some fans to get her good clap.
So coaches are coming down for a quick break. Talk to their players. They get 2 minutes to talk to their players. Each team is going to get an extra 1-minute timeout. And we're going to be looking for some guards in play this end. Lisa Reed has hammer in the extra end. Beth Peterson's going to be looking to steal. Again, if you're just joining us, we will be showing the men's provincial final at 4 p.m. today, featuring our 2 Canadian junior champions, Matt Dunstone from the Granite and Braden Calvert from Deer Lodge. That'll sure be a good one. Matt Dunstone defeated Braden Calvert earlier today in the 1-1 game on a last rock draw. Winner of this game will go on to play Shannon Burchard at 4 p.m. in the Provincial Junior Women's Final. And we will be showing you guys, or we will be updating you guys on that, how that game goes. Again, Shannon Burchard finished with an 7-0 round robin record, and then won the 1-1 game to go 8-0. So she is 8-0 going into the final. Winner of this game will be playing against her on sheet D. We are at the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club. Feel free to come down and watch the 2 finals. So Coach Dale McEwen and Coach Jack Gordon giving their teams both a little last minute encouragement, and we're off to an extra end. So both teams doing a pretty good job at hiding how nervous they are. Looking like they're both having a pretty good time, which is what this is all about in the end. So we'll be looking for a couple guards from Brianne Yozenko.
Yeah, it's really go time for Brianne and Beth and that squad. They're going to try really hard for their steal here.
So each team gets 5 minutes for the extra end and one 1-minute timeout. So we're starting it off with an intern guard from Brianne.
Yeah, I'm choosing the intern because it got a nice curl there and just lets you play with it a little bit more.
And this one needs to slow down.
Yeah, there's a tendency to want that to be a tight guard, but
Oh, that is
definitely can't come deep
too
on
bad.
that.
That's too bad. It's a big miss from Brianne, but they'll be looking to throw a guard on their second one. So very important for Lisa Reed, for Rhea Teranishi to roll away on this shot.
Yeah, you really don't want to leave it here because you know you got a bit of a break on that one, and Brianne came a little too deep, so you want to make sure you're not going to sit right on the nose. Certainly needs to curl a bit.
Oh, and there's a break for the Peterson team.
Even if it's in, it
Yeah.
is fairly high, so it shouldn't be. It's not of consequence too much to the Beth Peterson squad. So,
Brianne looking to go a little bit higher this time, about a 1 or 2 guard.
yeah, you want to create as much separation between the two guards as you can.
I think important for both teams to remember in this last end how straight that right-hand side of the sheet is, and make sure when they're placing their guards that they're leaving a chance to guard or to draw in with their on the left side of the sheet with the intern.
For sure.
So good shot by Brianne. Yep, good throw by Brianne, and it'll be interesting to see what Lisa calls here.
Feel our yellow?
She's gonna call the hit on her yellow, which I think is a great call.
You got it, Rhea.
Now we are playing 4-rock rules, so if she does touch the red rock and gets it out of play, it will be replaced.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, not often a lead gets to throw a peel here, but certainly they can peel their own rocks out.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what's going to happen, so that red rock will go back into play. And the Peterson team will have a chance to either throw another guard or wrap one around there.
Sound great?
And what do you think should be the call here?
It's a tough one to say. Going a high guard isn't necessarily a bad idea, but I could see definitely wrapping one around again. It's thrower's preference, I think, here. So it looks like they were going high guard.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to tell when they don't tap, but it looks like they're going for a guard here. It's certainly coming to that yellow, and they're not worried about it. So I think weight's much more important here. Slowing down a little bit, but pretty good.
Not a
Maybe a
bad,
bit deep.
not a bad shot. A little bit of an overcurl there from the Peterson team. It gives Brittany an opportunity to throw an intern double peel.
Yeah, and certainly the more guards you can get rid of, the better for the Lisa Reed squad. You want this to be as open as possible so Lisa can have a fairly simple shot for her one.
Again, maybe a little bit of a protective throw. Is she gonna get the second red?
Not quite.
See, and just getting a little bit protective over that straight side, maybe just not quite getting out to the broom.
And it looks like Beth is tempted to come around on the out turn here,
That's true.
but as we know, it doesn't move very much, so we'll have to keep a close eye on this.
It will move enough.
And five minutes isn't a whole lot of time
Yep.
for an extra end.
Okay, get
They
right
do
up.
have to make decisions fairly quick. So I think this is the right call from Beth. I think Melissa definitely needs to be taking all of that broom to get by that yellow.
For sure. You err on the side of out, I think.
So big shot here for Melissa. She puts it in a good spot. Peterson team will be pretty happy with how the first couple rocks have set up.
Yeah, certainly a good throw.
So again,
Gonna have to watch that guard. They're on it now. And they're really sweeping it. It's a great shot.
by Melissa Gordon.
That's exactly what they needed. And now it's a
Now
guard for your life sort of situation.
Great patience by the Peterson team. There's two with the sweep, making sure that they got by the guard.
Yep, and then a nice little finish off there.
So Brittany with the same throw, intern peel.
She might have been a little protective of it again.
And she's got a double peel. It's a good shot.
For sure.
So it removes one of the red guards and then sticks on the nose.
Now I would think that Beth's mode of shot calling here is going to be guards for the remainder of the end.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the Peterson team to realize here is they probably cannot take enough ice on this guard. If you leave something on the out turn, it's just not going to bury. The intern seems to be hooking in there, so you don't want to let Lisa Reed get into that one at the top of the 12 foot.
Yeah, and Robin was certainly positive on her release there, which I think is something to certainly keep in mind when you're throwing the shot. You really don't want to be soft with your release, or it'll go crazy. And this looks pretty good.
So they would have maybe liked it about a foot deeper because they left the double peel. But again, good shot, good scenario for the Peterson team. Blair is going to be looking for a double peel to get her team out of some trouble here. So out turn double peel from Blair.
They've had a little trouble with their spot in these past few shots, but Blair threw that one really nice, and it looks to be pretty close. It's a really good shot.
They might be able to sweep it. They overswept it.
Yeah, that's
an uncharacteristic miss. Again, for skips out there watching this, it's very important that you don't get caught up in running up to the guards before you watch the line. The line is very important on those shots. Looked like Lisa just got really excited to come and sweep for the double peel, and they kept sweeping, and she jammed it. So with an opportunity here to guard.
Yeah, and certainly, again, Beth's going to be calling guards for Robin and herself, hopefully, until the bitter end. So I think if the Lisa Reed squad is not making those double peels, there's just going to be more and more guards. They have to be pretty careful with those. This one looks a little heavy.
Got to be careful that they don't key this one up so it's easy to hit. And that's a pretty darn good shot there.
Yeah, the angles there work out pretty well.
So Blair has a chance at a triple peel. It is there.
She will not be throwing this one light.
Like just running it back, try and get them to all peel.
So out turn peel for Blair Hyde in this extra end of the Canola Junior Provincial semi-final.
She threw that one pretty nice. And they're on it early again. They might have overswept it.
Oh, and they just screamed out of her hand and overswept it.
Definitely, again, it's that patience. It's being patient with those line calls, and those are pretty tough ones to take.
Yeah, two great throws from Blair. They're just a little unlucky with the sweep.
Yeah, and the result hasn't been great. Yeah, once again, Beth's going to be throwing a guard here. Hopefully, she's hoping to get this higher, I believe. Be a 1 in the zones.
Yeah, a center line guard in the 1 position, just over the hog line. And Lisa Reed will have to make a decision on what she wants to play.
Yeah, her options are certainly there's some tough options out there. She doesn't have a lot at the moment. Of course, that can always change. Just throwing a nice guard here.
As high as possible, guys.
possible. it
Line's
says.
fine. Where?
So sweeper's keeping a broom
2.
down. Again, we talked about very important to keep the rocks
Whoa.
clean.
Whoa.
It's a good shot.
Pretty good shot from Beth.
I think, like we've been talking about, that's
How
definitely
much
the
of that
side to be curling
second
on.
red can you see?
So decision for Lisa Reed.
Try and hit that too.
It's
Across
if
and
she
just
decides
slide.
not to play the triple peel, she's gonna have to make a pretty good one.
Don't really have any
I think the
cross
triple peel is probably still her only call,
Yeah, you want to make your last shot as easy
and
as
then
possible.
hope that if you make it good, then you're still in a good
If we just
position to
get
win the
two
game.
out of there, you know?
So interesting thing about Beth's guard is that she actually moved it to the left side of center line, which Lisa Reed has
You like
not
straight
thrown
turn?
in this extra end.
Big
Yeah, she certainly is being forced to throw something she's not so used to, but she's decided to take the straight turn on this one, and hope it stays fairly true.
I don't know if I like this turn. Do you like this turn?
So still talking in the hack about which turn to throw.
Have less.
Yeah, you
Okay.
certainly don't want to be thinking about turns and shot calling in the hack as much as possible. That's just, from my point of view, that's again a lot of thinking while you're trying.
Oh, last end, Lisa Reed's first rock.
Yep. Whoa.
In-turn triple peel, or out-turn triple peel.
It's just going to be a single peel,
Hard
I
out.
believe.
And if she touches that one on the side, oh no.
Yeah.
So she left herself, so she did jam on the one on the side, but she left herself in a potential in-off. I didn't exactly see what Beth called here, but I think she'll be throwing the same guard.
I think she'll be throwing that guard, yes, and leaving Lisa the choice between
I'm
a
wondering,
pretty tough come around or that in-off.
Yeah, I'm still wondering if you can wheel one around there and just perfect weight and tap it back so you can draw or score one.
It certainly does move a lot. Either way, Lisa's gonna have a tough shot, but certainly makeable.
All right, so Beth Peterson in the hack for her last rock of this extra end Canola Junior Provincial Women's Semi-Final.
She's throwing a guard just like her last one, and I can tell you, it is every skip's dream to be throwing guards for the last two rocks. So I think this end for sure has worked out certainly how she wanted it to.
So girls are trying to finish it up here a little bit.
That's a pretty good spot for it.
And a good shot from Beth Peterson and a great end from the Peterson team. So we got a timeout from Lisa Reed.
Yeah,
So
they
Dale-
certainly have much to talk about.
So Dale McEwen's going to come out, and we're going to they're going to work on what Lisa needs to be throwing on her last rock in this extra end.
Yeah, you really, we couldn't have asked for a
We have
better
to tap
game, I
it.
think, here.
Unless
This
we
was
come in this
such
way,
a great
curl so much and
semifinal
do
game
what I
either
did
way.
before, it could be
Yeah,
there.
two great teams playing this afternoon, and you got to believe that whoever wins this game going into the final against Shannon Burchard, it'll be a great matchup. So we're going to listen in on Lisa Reed's extra end timeout.
I think that they're on the pin.
Yep.
I think, and it doesn't curl enough this way to get to it at all. I think I have to try and do what I've done before and come around with some weight and try and tap it off and sit shot.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
I don't have any runs
Is
or
this front
anything.
one on?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do then. Like you say, there, couldn't tell exactly where that one was, whether you might have a draw to it.
Yeah, it's right on the pin.
But you don't, so. Yeah, that's the shot.
Yeah, just like
You
that
know what
for
it is?
back eight.
Yeah, back eight, I think.
Back eight. So
Yep.
what I threw last time when I came
Yep.
around this way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Good
Got
luck.
it. You got it, Lisa.
Good luck.
So it looks like they're going to play the same shot that Lisa Reed played in the seventh end, where she gave up a steal of one. The in-turn heavy draw, tap it back.
Back eight.
Definitely, I think it's definitely there with the amount of curls. And
Yeah.
Lisa seems to be fairly confident that she knows the right ice and the right weight. So here we go, last rock.
It's certainly not an impossible shot with this curl, and you're right, she has thrown this before, so the nice thing for her is she knows she should have a good idea of what it's going to do.
Time.
here. But certainly curls.
So there it goes. It's starting to move.
Just might have
And
too much
just a
weight.
little bit too much weight. So
Oh, that's too bad.
great game from Beth Peterson and Lisa Reed. And Beth Peterson from the Fort Rouge Curling Club will move on to play Shannon Burchard in the final today.
That is going to be a great final. Wow.
And great event for Lisa Reed's team. That was their 11th game of the event, going through 2 tiebreakers. So those girls had to be extremely proud about what they did this week.
And they are going to sleep like logs tonight. Oh my word, that is a lot of curling, and that's a lot of rocks to throw in 1 week. So really great job by them. They battled like crazy, and that's a really great week for them.
So we're going to let them kick the rocks back, and then I think we're going to grab one last final interview before we leave you. Just a reminder that we're back on the air at 4 p.m. for the Junior Men's Provincial Final, featuring our last 2 Canadian champions, Braden Calvert and Matt Dunstone.
And of course, along with that, we will be updating our women's final, which will be going on at the same time between Shannon Burchard and Beth Peterson. So yeah, stay tuned and come back at 4, and we will definitely talk about that. We're going to talk to one of the curlers right away.
And with us right now, the skip of the winning junior team from the semifinal, Beth Peterson.
Hello.
Hey, Beth. How's your heart doing right now?
It's racing pretty hard. Pretty excited.
So, just tell us a little bit about that game. How'd you guys feel you played?
It was a battle for sure. Lisa's been lights out all week, and we knew this would be a tough one, but my team pulled it out for me for sure. They made some pistol shots, and it was rough. We got to improve to beat Shannon in the final, but we're pretty excited to have another crack at her.
Yeah, it looked like you guys really pulled it together, and that 8th end was about as textbook as it gets. So.
Yeah, we really picked it up in the last few to pull off the win, and Melissa sure made a pistol draw on the extra to give us confidence to win.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you think your game with Shannon's going to be like.
Well, we played it today, obviously, and we made some pretty crucial mistakes, but they didn't play great either. This ice is tricky, so it's whoever gets a hand on the ice. I think it'll be a pretty big battle for us. I don't think she's going to play it too clean, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, Beth, and good luck in the final.
Thank you.
All right, so again, with a 7-6 final, Beth Peterson from the Fort Rouge defeats Lisa Reed and will advance to play Shannon Burchard in the final today at 4 p.m. We'll be back on the air at the 2015 Canola Junior Championships with Braden Calvert and Matt Dunstone.